I gotta say is, for the good of the company, this player needs to play all 4 smells.
Don't pay too much attention to the title. I didn't like that.
Tyler, because you said you hate it, I want you to read it.
No one is from Canberra. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
No one is from some. You can have been in Canberra like 10 years. You're like, oh yeah, I'm from Queensland.
At some point in this board, there's probably going to be a 10-inch gap, and you're going to have to cross it. And for me, I'm like, I ain't getting warm fuzzies crossing that.
No,
If
very
you take Huron, you wouldn't.
5 fucking trolls run around the board and go, I'm gonna pick you up, I'm gonna throw you over there. Oh, your hero's on a horse? Nah, man. No.
Aragon felt like a Lindil when I was two-handed, and I was like, a Lindil's back, baby.
Tyler loves Battle of the Five Armies so much that I just gotta give this to him.
I do. They built it wrong, though.
All those siege weapons have got me sweating.
Dude,
And
that's what
now
I'm saying. I'm scared.
Heart rate has lowered, seeing siege weapon 0. Heart rate's back down, and we continue on. If you could do this, goddamn, what a crazy list.
I was doing maths on how many D6 models do they kill if their opponent has to just cross a 24-inch deployment to them. The number was like 18.
We've deliberately not put names on each of these lists. But I think this might be the BPIA's list.
Yeah. Cringe. And then to Gondor Battle Cry, Trebuchets. So let's get into the first slide.
No.
Oh, what? Oh,
Ben.
this stinks.
Let's get this show on the road, eh?
Mm-hmm.
G'day. Welcome back to MGG, otherwise known as Mountain Goat Gaming. My name is Sean. We're here with Tyler, little beautiful boy. He's Australian, not American, trust. And we have the most special guest. We've got Sir Sam.
We have the wonderful Sam here. He's come in with his analysis of all the lists, and we're hoping to just take you briefly through a bunch of the lists for CanCon, and hopefully he can give his takes on some of the data that he obtained for this event. So hopefully we can get this show on the road. We're going to kind of speed through these lists, but otherwise have fun watching the content. Going to the next slide for me, brother.
We're jumping in. All right,
Oh.
The good old classics.
Perfect.
Oz Wargaming, Bard's Tables, major sponsors for us over here. We love them dearly. Perfect 3D prints that you can get from them. Mwah. Using the code below, which you'll see in the description, sends you, there's links to go to their websites as well. Using the code GOATS, all capitals, I believe, works for both of them. You can get some pretty hefty discounts ranging between 5 and 10%, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And if you keep jumping back in and periodically checking both Oz Wargaming and Bard's Tables, they tend to have a few discount promo things going on as well, and the code stacks with that. On top of that, Discord, jump in, relatively active. We try and get on there most nights to just paint and chat. Link again down below, and obviously the classic, subscribe, like, share, all the fun stuff. Tell your dog, tell your mum, tell your auntie, tell your little toy soldier sitting in back. Make some fake accounts. Go for it. Have some fun with it, eh? And on top of that, Sam, tell us all about your blog.
I'm some shilling. So I've got a blog, Against All Odds, at blogspot.com. It's primarily competitive focused. I've been posting on it for like about 4-ish years now. So lots of now outdated content, thankfully. Generally, there's a lot of tournament reports, analysis of how to use different tools within the game, how to build certain factions, all that kind of thing. Every now and again, I'll get inspired and do a little narrative thing. But
Yeah.
it's like,
And find out why the Witch King only needs 10. Sorry.
there's some hot takes occasionally.
I have to do it every time. I see it. I'm like, oh.
Hey, that's how you get the clicks, mate. That's how you get people watching.
Indeed. Sometimes you just need a clickbait title.
That's it.
100%, bro.
Man, I think it was
that stance, even though it is now entirely outdated.
I think it was Jacob from Conquest Creations got all up in arms about your take on that, which we love to see him get riled up.
Yeah.
But the point of this video, as mentioned, is all three of us are going to CANCON, which is one of the largest gaming conventions held in Australia, held in the capital territory, capital city of Australia, of Canberra. Thus the name CANCON. Yeah, it's actually Sydney, bro.
The Paris of the South.
Yeah. Now, I believe this is the second largest Middle-earth tournament that is held in Australia. The largest one is usually Clash, which is held in Sydney. But this is going to be a great tournament that all three of us are going to. It is 5 games over 2 days. And then there is a doubles tournament on the 3rd day, which, man, I really wanted to attend the doubles, but shout out to work, it can't let me do it. But that's something you guys are doing, and you guys both seem super excited for it. But back to the singles, which is what we're going over today. 850 point armies of the new MESBG 2.0. Games will be played on 4x4 boards, 2 hour 45-minute time frame, which is massive. But I absolutely love that. And the scenarios being used will be the 6 scenarios in the current rulebook, and they'll be rolled. I wonder if that rolled on the day means at the beginning of each round, or if we'll find out at the beginning of each day. But either way,
all I have to say is at least 2 hours and 45 minutes doesn't allow you to easily play to a draw.
A couple of rulings that CANCON is going with is so Troll Brute, written by Bofa, does not gain the airable keyword. Cool. Bofa's ability whilst on the troll is measured from the troll base. That feels like it's a bit of common sense. This is the one that I'm intrigued by. Monsters charge +1 attack does not stack with the +1 for being mounted on a monster. So Wraiths on Wings, for example, will not get the 5 attacks on the charge or
Witch King, yeah,
or something like that.
Witch King or Radagast, yeah, so on and so forth.
That's an interesting one that I think up here in Queensland anyway, tournaments are stacking those 2 rules until GW says otherwise. A model can only be supported by a single spear. Thank the Lord. I think Alex mathed it out with pikes and whatnot. It can be like 31 attacks onto one model or something ridiculous like that.
And if that model was a monster and then killed the guys in front,
oh god,
I'd have faith in Beorn killing all of them.
Yeah, that'd actually be yoked. Merry and Pippin, you can hit Merry and Pippin with strikes if they are riding Treebeard, but not using brutal power attacks. My assumption is there will still be in the way for them.
Not in
combat. Okay.
It's worded a little bit weirdly. There's a heading in the passenger section. It's like Merry and Pippin's section in Treebeard's rules is like they're passengers except that he's not cavalry, and except for like shooting and a few other things.
Yeah, okay.
The passengers section starts with a bit up the top saying passengers can be struck. Yep. And then later on says passengers on a cavalry model can be, it like adds a bit more context.
Right.
Treebeard's not a cavalry model, so that second bit doesn't capture it.
Doesn't apply.
First bit is kind of more general and still captures it. It's weird. Yep. I think this ruling is probably correct.
Yeah, awesome.
And then last one was just I think you just skipped over, was the Legolas can still move and shoot into combat whilst he's on horse, but he will suffer the -1 to hit. Obviously, he can only still move half, so 5 inches. But he'll be hitting on 3s, not 2s for this event. I know that's been a controversial thing in GBHL and in the US, so this is the rolling, and then we'll go from there.
Yep, absolutely. Cool. All right, now, Tyler, onto the first lot of lists. A bit of context for these lists for people. We are doing them in alphabetical order. So we will have, if there are multiple atop the wall list, we're going to go through all of them. But we're going to try and blend them all together where we can. But I'll let Tyler take it away. Let's go.
Oh, who hurt this man? Okay, anyways. So we have Gandalf the White, Shadowfax Pippin, no worries. 3 Ministerial Knights, Erlass with 6 Citadel Guard with bow. 6 Citadel Guard with Spear, Captain Ministerieth, 1 Ministerious guy with just Shield, 8 with Shield and Spear, 1 Ministerious Banner, and then 2 Gondor Battle Cry trebuchets. Cringe. Sorry. Anyways, continue. There was a gentleman's
Simultaneously
agreement.
cringe and not
right?
good.
Look, I don't. No. It's the way that you have to play against them. The way they force you to
Indeed.
move
Yeah.
is the difference. It makes you play a different type of game, and it's one of those things where it was always a joke down here in Victoria. It was like there was once a time where there was like a gentleman's agreement of not bringing siege weapons, but and so for me, it's like now we got 2 of them. Oh man,
It's a bit stinky, but no, I think you're bang on with the Battlecry Trebuchet. Even in the previous edition, you would never really get your points back each game with it killing stuff. It made its points back by making your opponent play the game totally differently, and if you can capitalize on forcing them to play not the way they want to, you're sitting pretty and you're giggling.
Which I do think probably makes the second one less compelling, because the first one already is like, fuck you, you've got to come to me.
Yeah,
The second one is still doing that and also not getting his points back.
Yeah, I would like to see with this, drop that second trebuchet, give us maybe another captain, and throw
Just
some more
fill
bows in
more
there.
fill out more dudes.
Fill out more dudes.
35
Yeah.
models is pretty low at 850. That's a concern I have. Like that's
It could be 46.
Yeah.
Just, I suppose, 43.
It could be 42, 43. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
Either way, you get something more out of it than the concern is 35 models. You're expecting your trebuchets to do work. Don't get me wrong. Get 2 shots. And with the scenarios that are here, I don't mind the 2 trebuchets because a lot of them are either 24-inch gap deployment or you're moving on, so on and so forth, which is annoying. But
It does feel like recon, or not recon, hold ground. You're kind of just like pretty close to forfeiting that one.
Yeah,
you're actually hoping to go first.
Right, we'll move on to the next list, which is another atop the wall list. Slight changes, and they've gone for our quote-unquote suggestion where they've filled out their warband spaces a bit more and taken the trebuchet.
Bunch more models.
Yeah.
Good.
Now,
More night,
we've deliberately not put names on each of these lists, but I think this might be the BPIA's list.
Yeah. Cringe. But anyways.
Next, Assault on Helm's Deep.
We really did get all the toxic ones up top, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did talk about double siege weapons. So here we have 49 models, Uruk-hai Captain Leader, 11 Warriors with Shield, 1 with a banner, 3 Berserkers, 1 with 1 Uruk-hai Warrior with the Shield, who was led by a captain, another captain with 11 crossbows, another Uruk-hai Captain with 12 Warriors with Shield, and 2 Assault Ballistas. Quite
No
similar
pikes.
to that Gondor list. Yeah, no pikes, but who needs pikes when you've got 11 crossbows and 2 piercing shot,
I think
ballistas?
They really wanted their D7 shield wall. That's all I'm saying.
I think I worked out that this list or it might have been one of the other Assault on Helm's Deep lists. I was doing maths on how many D6 models do they kill if their opponent has to just cross a 24-inch deployment to them. And I think this list, the number was like 18. It was like, it was just like, oh god.
No, I can't.
Well, it might have been like 16.5. It was like,
I don't want it.
I'm quite annoyed now that was the one stat that I didn't actually include in this video. And I'm now
I'll bring it up
regretting it.
whenever it's relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Assault on Helm's Deep, it's going to do very similar things that it did last edition, and it is terrifying. We've got another.
This is the 18.
18. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's this? Two ballistas, 12 crossbows. This one, they've got a couple of pikes and a few extra berserkers by the looks of it. A difference in 3 models, but a difference between 3 models.
Banner, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
double
think, like,
banner
banner and like an extra berserker, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, no, very solid. Gonna hit hard and should do very well. Looking at Eagles, ooh, large target, baby.
I've played this matchup. It's an interesting one.
I just don't understand. So the first 4 lists all had fucking siege weapons. Is that what I'm understanding? Ah,
Yeah.
man.
It's
Next.
because there's
It's uphill from here.
yeah, it's because there's how many Eagle lists showing up.
Okay.
Now we're into Arnold. Sam. Oh, you're Eden. My
Yeah, no,
apologies.
I'm all good. I can go for it. Okay. So we've got pretty standard looking Arnor, to be honest. It's Arvedui, Aranath, Malbeth, a captain, and 3 ranges of the north. Mixed in there, I think there are 4 knights, 3 banners, interestingly, a ranger with Warhorn and 7 other rangers, and then just a heap of dudes. I think that's 21 Warriors of Arnor without banners, 24 with the 3 with banners, for a total of 45 models. I think 13 shots, which is...
Yeah, it looks about.
5 of them have might behind them. And yeah, just a real grind.
Why is the captain there?
I was going to say,
Why
it's
is
interesting not to
Argadir
see
not
Argadir
there?
not in there.
I guess, like, so he's what, 3 models difference? 42. But I'd rather Argadir than the Warhorn, I think is probably the way you make it work.
I would
was
just
gonna say,
drop
I
a
think you
banner.
Yeah, drop a banner, maybe drop a
Also
You already
Warhorn
have
as well.
2 banners. I'm so
2 is pretty good.
Like the
Like,
range
if-
of the Arnor can still take a banner and get passed off to the banner. So for me, I'm like, we don't need 3 banners. You need probably 2, and then Argadir is your punch. Ah?
Yeah, because that is what, like, each banner's affecting like 6 combats, 6 or 7 combats. So you've got 14 combats. You've probably got a front line of about like 15 dudes.
Yeah.
2 banners feels
I
heaps.
was going to say, it could just come down to not having the model.
Also
But
true.
I'm
It is
pretty
kinda
sure Aranath comes with Argadir.
I think so.
So if you're going through the official channels, which
Look,
go
bro.
to Oz Wargaming instead, or Bard's Table, that could just be the case.
Or join the goats Discord, and I would have let you borrow mine. Like that would have been, and I would have let you borrow mine, brother. Although I wouldn't have liked your list, so maybe not. Either way, just depends.
Damn. I hope this is a new player that you've just scared away from the game, Tyler.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, the fact that 4 points down also, like...
But that's something that is quite difficult with a lot of lists. Now, I'm not sure with Arnold, because I haven't built any Arnold lists, but there's so many lists that just the way the structure of adding war gear to models, suddenly you're like, oh, I'm always going to be like 2 or 3 points down. You know, it's just a bit tricky with the new stuff. But next slide, we move on to our first bit of statistics.
Woo-woo. Yep. So we've got some. I'll talk through the statistics because I pulled them all together. I think most of them aren't too surprising. The model count's definitely skewed lower than we'd expect. But I think, to be honest, that's mostly just like it's the all monster lists and like a couple of like very hero heavy lists. I think everything else is probably averaging about 42.5, which is the sort of level we'd expect for 850 points. Bows, yeah, again, like it's kind of, there's a few lists with a heap of bows, a bunch of lists with no bows, kind of average out. Might, I know about what I expected.
Yeah, it's usually, well, in the previous edition anyway, it was usually about 1 might per 100 points is what you were aiming for, and we're kind of hitting that here with this in the averages.
I think again, definitely Eagles and Smaug are dragging that down.
Yeah,
there are a bunch of lists with 3 might, so that certainly brings down the average. The greater than 6 inches move, like that's just like models that are faster than normal. Yeah, I think that's like my impression was, again, there were lists like Return of the King where it was like, yeah, that's the whole list except like Gimli and Legolas, and then everything else kind of hovered around like 3 to 4ish, which is kind of what we'd expect. The zero casters stat is
Yeah,
actually
so
is
so
0.4.
yes, so siege weapons and casters, when I put it into my thing, it would not let me do like 0.4 or 0.1. As soon as I put that 0, it was just like, nah, man, it's
Because
a
right
0.
now it's 80% of the list of just like
It is.
66%.
So,
I don't even know.
just know that siege weapons and casters was 0.4 and siege weapons are 0.1.
1.3.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep. And monsters are 1.36.
yeah.
So like a bit higher than that. Again, 1.36 monsters per player.
It's,
Great.
brother, I would kill. Wait, I've got
I would
Targ, so I do have a
we
monster.
don't say, yeah, exactly. We don't say shh. The
Yeah.
night is dark and full of terrors. Cool. And the banners? Is it
Yeah.
averaging 1 point something? What's the
1.04. Pretty
1.04?
good
Cool.
there.
Cool.
Which again, it felt like there were a bunch of lists that couldn't take banners.
Yep.
And then there were a bunch of lists that took 2 banners.
Smaug, Eagles, all,
Yeah,
yeah,
all
the
that sort of
classic
jazz.
offenders.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Are the just checking, Sean? Are the other couple of stats relating to monsters and banners coming in later, or should I bring them up now?
No, there is coming in later. Yeah, the chosen one, yes.
Right.
That does come in a little bit later. For people that are unaware, or if it hasn't clicked into their cheeky little noggins, because it wouldn't have clicked into mine, stats like this are going to show up periodically throughout this video, just to break up the lists for everyone. I believe there are 5 or 6 of these stat slides scattered throughout.
Because we need a break after Arnor, and you'll see the
Yeah,
other list.
all those
Cool.
siege weapons have got me sweating.
Dude,
And
that's what
now
I'm saying. I'm scared.
Heart rate has lowered, seeing siege weapons 0, heart rate's back down, and we continue on with Army of Gundabad.
Ah, this is actually Chad. Okay, I'll take this. Okay,
Yeah,
Azog
totally.
Filer, Heavy Armor, Stone Flail. Where I hate the fact you can't take White Wog. 2 Warbats, Gundabad Troll with Scythe Claws, 6 Gundabad Orcs with Shield. Oh, what is that? 13 with Shield, 1 Gundabad Ogre. I'm assuming. Can they just? I'm assuming the
I
7
think it's a
Gundabad is
1.12
Spear.
anyway, so probably
It's probably Spears, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Gundabad Orc Captain, and then Troll Brute Chad, and 4 Gundabads with Shield, 6 with Spear. 31 models. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I agree. It looks super fun to play.
Yeah. The Scythe Claws, I want to know how many kills he gets with it.
Yeah. I actually do think it could be a bit better than we initially think.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it would depend what you faced. Like, the Ogre, or I always just look at and go like, yeah, like 1 fight 6 mounted hero goes in and kills it.
Yep.
But like with new hurl, maybe like you lob into it, but then you're hurling with like intelligence 9+ or something. So
Yeah. Yep, that's fair.
I will say what I'm loving about this new edition so far is the Troll Brute. We went from last edition in Queensland anyway, never seeing that Troll Brute hit a table, to this edition. Everyone's got a Troll Brute now, and
it's a very funny model.
I love it so much. I'm about to buy one, I reckon.
I'm playing it for
shits and
doubles.
gigs.
It's gonna be
yeah.
good.
Oh baby.
It's gonna be awesome.
We have Army of the White Hand. So 848 points again, not maxing out to that 850, but I think again, as we mentioned earlier, in this edition it gets a bit harder to do. So 58 models. Oh my god, that's more than me.
I'm like, what the fuck is it?
Damn, I've got a lot of models. I thought I had the highest model count in this. Anyway, I don't. Army of the White Hand, Saruman, 2 scouts with shield, 4. What was that? Sorry.
There's a list higher than this as well, by the way.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I know the one. Yep, cool.
Yeah, damn. 4 Isengard Wild Riders with shield and throwing spear, 2 Crebain, 2 scouts with Uruk-hai bow, 2 Wildmen of Dunlin with spear, into a Uruk-hai scout captain, 2 scouts with shield, 2 Wild Riders with shield and throwing spear, 4 Isengard Orc Warriors with spear, 1 with a banner, 1 with a shield, 2 Wildmen of Dunlin with spear. The Wildman Oathmaker, who, fun fact, I'm painting up at the moment as a Hill Tribeman Chieftain, 1/2 of Targ. He has Wildmen of Dunlin with Flaming Brand, 6 of them. No, 1,
No,
sorry.
one.
1 scout with shield, 4 Urukai scouts with bows, 6 Wildmen of Dunlin with spear. A Wildman Chieftain, oh boy, 1 with a Wildman with a Flaming Brand, 3 scouts with bow, 3 Wildmen of Dunlin with spear, into another Wildman Chieftain, 1 Wildman with a Flaming Brand, 3 scouts with bow, 3 Wildmen of Dunlin with spear, and then Grima Wormtongue. Oh my goodness, that was
Dudes.
that was fun. This is Army of the White Hands just is going to be real solid. It feels like a nice classic list, but we're going to see Saruman doing some nasty tricks. 58 models, and he's got a smattering of all the war gear he could possibly need. He's
Really
going to have
everything,
yeah.
I mean, he has cavalry pull, like cavalry
Mixed cavalry.
counter. Yeah,
Yeah.
the counter charge ability. It's like, oh, even if you're going up against all mounted or you're going up against some heroes and you just want to peel off an attack, you can. And the
Yeah.
knockdown, which is great. You have spatterings everywhere of strength 4, which is absolutely fantastic. And especially when it's like a horde army that has fight 4, strength 4 in it, you're like, okay. And plus, obviously, the special rules for Saruman in this list are just bonkers.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
He's also got a couple of models in there that gain dominant 2 with those flaming brands, so great for objective capping. Crebain as well, if you need to move fast.
Crebain is so crazy this edition.
Oh, I love him. I love him. I've got 3 of them in my list, and I'm super pumped.
Yeah.
But yeah, very, very nice list. We'll move on to the next one. Battle of the Five Armies, Tyler. I'm sorry I'm skipping you here, Sam, but I know Tyler loves Battle of the Five Armies so much that I just got to give this to him.
I do. They built it wrong though, so I'm just.
Damn, is this the last line to Noobs and Men?
Sorry. Look, either no, this is gonna be good. So Dane Ironfoot, Lord of the Iron Hills on Warboar. We have Iron Hills with banner, 7 with spear and shield, 4 with crossbow. We have Tariel with her bow, 2 Mirkwood Knights, 3 with glaive, 3 Mirkwood Elf Warriors with glaive, 2 with shield, 4 bow. And then we have a Lake Town Militia Captain, 8 spears, 4 bows, and then we're here, Tuki, 39 models. I think it's really solid. The 2.5 heavy hitters in this list for me is really nice.
Is the 0.5 Tariel?
Yeah.
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 No, it's the Lake Town Militia Captain.
Sure. Why is he D6? Explain. America, explain. This is crazy. Why?
J. Claire,
Why?
please.
He found the
Why?
only bit of good armor left in Dale.
Oh yeah, but either way, I think it's gonna be really solid. I've played it before. I've taken a variation where you take Beorn. I personally would say Beorn's better in a lot of instances. For me personally,
50 points though.
50 points of a guy that basically knocks prone or goes toe to toe with the majority of other monsters in this game.
He is better into the monster matchups. But like, I mean, in this list, 50 points, you can't really cut warriors. So you're being like, well,
Tyler's crux and Tyler's vice is Beorn.
yeah.
If Tyler doesn't have a Beorn in his list, you question if it's a Tyler list.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think this edition, Beorn is legitimately good.
Yeah.
But I also think Guahir is like clearly quite undercosted. And I think Beorn struggles. Beorn, I think, is a competitive, fairly costed model.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I guess
Guahir, I
the
think,
counter argument I would say is he's magic resistance for me, and so
That's
his
definitely true.
ability to knock it easily jerked around makes him a lot more effective. I find the strength 6 in Battle of 5 Armies Guahir not as effective as his Eagles list or his Radagast Alliance.
Really true.
So, and the fact that Beorn still has strike means that he can just buy turns against Balrogs, Smaugs, Treebeards, etc., without you having to feel worried about, oh, does my Guahir needs to spend all my might just to actually defense and pray that they fluff and to do wounds. But I completely understand the mobility is probably the biggest thing, and then not having to charge every turn with Beorn versus Guahir, absolutely. So I can
on a flank.
The either ors absolutely make sense. I completely understand. So, but I love the list. It should be good. Dane hits like it's truck. Tario is a sleeper pick. I'm sad to see no Nori because he's my Chad. But hey, I love it. Love it nonetheless.
It's a good list.
List.
Another Battle of the Five Armies list. Yeah, quickly just go over it.
Go ahead, Sam. You got this.
Yeah, I'll go for this one. So more unconventional build here. 28 models. So Thranduil with armor on Elk, Gwai here, Boffer on Brute, on the Troll Brute, with 1 Goat Rider, 3 Iron Hills Dwarves with crossbow, and 8 with spear and shield, and then Iron Hills Captain with 3 more dudes with crossbow, 8 more with spear and shield. So a 16 model, like 17 model, kind of defensive block, 6 bows, and then 3 pretty crazy heavy hitters.
No banner.
No banner.
But you don't need a banner when you've got a Troll Brute.
You don't need banners when you're just gonna break. What if I just break you?
Yeah. What if I just walk? Like, what if I just kill you without getting into combat? How's that sound?
Yeah. Without technically charging.
That's yeah. We're moving on to Battle of Fornos now. I believe there's a couple of Battle of Fornos because in one of our stats things that's eventually going to show up, you'll see that Aarnor, and I believe Glorfindel as well, is they're pretty high up there on the picks. So
5 times.
Hey, they're monster hunters. They're monster hunters. I like
it.
it. The monster hunter cleanup crew.
Oh, I love it.
Codan's really good against monsters.
Yeah.
Being like,
Yeah, actually.
you're prone. I'm sorry, you're prone.
Well, we've got 850 points on the nose, 41 models, Battle of Fornos, Aarnor on his armored horse with his lance, 5 knights of Minas Tirith, 5 warriors of Minas Tirith with shield and spear, 4 more warriors with shield and 1 with a banner. Then we have Glorfindel, Lord of the West, Lord of the Mid, maybe not so much this edition, on Asphaleth, 5 Rivendell warriors with elf bow, 5 Rivendell warriors with shield and elven spear, and then 1 more with a banner. We then move into Círdan of the Grey Havens, 3 Rivendell warriors with elf bow, 3 warriors with shield and elven spear. And then we got a Ranger of the North with 5 little friends, 5 little hobbit bowmen tagging along with him.
Yeah, very solid. Those 2 heavy hitters, they're interesting in that I think they're not like actually the scariest possible things, but they're just like not things you can shut down.
Yeah.
Like they're both difficult to deal with magic one way or another. They're both like very happy to duel your heaviest hitters. It's Glorfindel's got Horse Lord, so it's hard to dismount him with anything other than lobbing a dude at him. Yeah, it's just like really hard to shut them down. And then the rest of the list is just like a very solid, grindy list that dies pretty slow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And Círdan's actually still really good.
Círdan, I will say, Call Winds genuinely is still viable for him. Do I think the nerf to Blinding Light sucks? Yeah, absolutely. But he still has playability. I think it's just one of those things where in a list where you have 10 cans that can be D7 or just the normal L's that are D6, you can weather the storm of shooting. If not, take on a shooting war and feel comfortable still.
Yeah,
I mean, a
100%.
lot of these 5 I think of these 5 Battle of Fornos lists, there's one that's only got a few bows, but the others are like 12 to 15 bows.
Yeah, and that's
I think that's the big thing is you do want to be hitting your bows. I think just in general, with any list really, you should be hitting your bows, your bow limit where you can.
I'd push back on that in that I think there's a bunch of lists that are still never going to want to take a shooting war against almost anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
At that point, like 1 or 2 honesty bows, doing great.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got our second of 5 Battle of Fornos lists, I believe it is. 42 models here. A very similar build with Glorfindel and Aarnor. So Rivendell warriors with a variety of war gear and banners. Aarnor with warriors of Minas Tirith with a variety of war gear. And then a couple of knights and a banner in there as well. But this time we've got Aranath, first chieftain of the Dunedain. He's got 1 Ranger of the North with a spear and then 6 Hobbit archers.
Why is the Ranger of the North not in his own warband?
Yeah, brother.
Maelstrom.
Single drop. Single drop.
All the way.
Maelstrom is one thing that I'm like, yeah, you could consider putting him in his warband. That's
But
the only
also,
time
like,
I would say.
Do
If there
you
was more,
care? Like, in hold ground? Do you care
Yeah,
if
I think-
go and kill your Ranger of the North?
I honestly
Yeah.
think you don't. I think you just put him on. Your single drop just becomes your last warband drop. In Maelstrom, you just go cool. If he ends up on his own, so be it. If he doesn't, I'll put him with the rest of the army.
look, I'm with you guys. I was just trying to make a case of the other side.
Okay.
Oh
Okay,
yes,
okay.
devil's advocate.
Devil's
Yeah.
advocate. Gosh, man, y'all
Yeah.
came at me sideways. Criminal, absolutely evil world. I was like, oh shit. Cool.
I
Either way.
will not tolerate these lies.
Onto the third Battle of Fornos list. This one dropping down to 39 models. So the previous ones we had 42 and 41. We're now dropping down into the 30s. So Aarnor, Glorfindel, and Aranath again. No Hobbit Bowman in this list, which is probably where that drop of just 2 or 3 models comes flying in.
More nice.
Double Ranger of the North.
In his warband, huh? Interesting. Yeah.
Interesting. My God, you could have had 3 single drop warbands.
Imagine how annoying it would be for your opponent to be like, okay, my first warband's down and 1 Ranger of the North plops down. And then second warband's down, second.
Dude, I'm so with the amount of warband drops that you can do in spam in Battle of Fornos or Arnor. I'm like, I don't want to play that. So
I would very happily in most lists, if you can run a Ranger of the North, say whether it be Arnor or Battle of Fornos, you happily go, cool, I'm going to spend 50 points of this on 2 Rangers of the North. I'm not giving them spears, but their sole purpose is just to be 50 points worth of I know where my opponent's deploying. And that's huge in this game. And that as well.
2 moves or stand fast even for like objective purposes. Like they are really good. Cool.
Yeah.
Next.
On to the next one, back
Madonna.
up to 41 models. Oh, Círdan showing up again. Aarnor, a smattering of warriors with war gear options banner in there as well. Knights of Minas Tirith, they've got 4 of them. Glorfindel with warriors of Rivendell, 1 with the banner, smattering of war gear options again, and then Círdan coming in with Rivendell warriors with just random war gear options as well. This feels like the most I don't want to be rude and say basic, but this just seems like the very stock standard archetype. Yep, 100%. This is I'm going to sit in a shield wall, I'm going to grind you out, and Aarnor and Glorfindel are going to run around in a pair and go ding, 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 as long as they can.
Yep, that makes sense.
Into the next Battle of Fornos, dropping back into the 30 model count, we have Aarnor with a variety of warriors and knights, Glorfindel with 5 Rivendell warriors with spear and shield, a captain of Minas Tirith showing up with a bunch of tin cans, Círdan with some warriors of Arnor, and then a Ranger of the North with 6 Hobbit archers. Is there anything? This one is very different to. I say very different. The most different from the previous ones that we've seen. Is there anything you guys want to touch on with this one?
Love the Knights of Minas Tirith. 1 Knight of Minas Tirith on with the actual banner is actually kind of nice. So if you really do want to kind of go off on a tangent with either Glorfindel or something, also the area of effect that it now holds with its 40 mil base is just slightly more, but it's not that much. But it can be a little bit more area coverage. But each of their own.
Yep, we like to see it.
I do think it's noticeable. It really feels like there's a trade-off for Battle of Fornost in how much of a weak point you open up. Like if someone gets into the 6 Hobbit archers, you're 6 models closer to break. That's like a third of the way there. But on the other hand, this list kind of needs to take them because it's low on model count because it's sprung for the extra hero. So I think it's kind of forced that weakness that maybe doesn't need to exist. But the captain's also pretty good, so I can see the argument.
Makes sense. All right, moving on to finally not the Battle of Fornos. We're moving into some Black Gate. So 45 models, Blackgate. Blackgate, that's the really annoying one at the beginning of each turn. You can make a random model do an
Yeah.
intelligence check. Oh, brother.
Proper Spectre.
Jay did that to me, and he got Gwahi like 2 turns in a row, and I was like, well,
Yep. You can
kill
spend
me, I
light on it,
guess.
but not will.
Yeah.
How are
I
you
was like,
snake eyesing that twice?
brother,
Dude, that's crazy.
brother, you heard all about my very
Oh, yeah,
early
that's
evil
right.
games.
You had
Yeah,
me at
this was
that
one of
time.
them.
Yep.
Anyway, we've got the troll, the Mordor troll chieftain leader. He's got 1 Morannon Orc with banner, 9 Morannon Orcs with spear and shield, 5 Morannon Orcs with just a shield. The Mouth of Sauron, who is an absolute mega Chad this edition. He was a Chad previously, but he's just jumped up. He's on his armored horse, 9 Morannon Orc warriors with shield and spear, 6 with just a shield. Oh god, another troll chieftain, 1 Morannon Orc with banner, 6 Morannon Orcs with shield and spear, and then 5 Morannon Orcs with just a shield. My god, double troll chieftains,
Yeah.
just the amount of resources you have to spend on one of them is outrageous, and then you've got to walk into a second one.
It's actually
Well,
quite similar to Battle of Fornost in some regards. Like
Yeah.
you've got 2 heavy hitters who don't necessarily kill things the absolute fastest, but who are just hard to shut down. There's not really any good answer to them. And then you've got a big wall of dudes with heavy armor. And like 1 caster. Like the analogy, it flows all the way.
It does. I think this will be a very solid list.
I will say with the Mouth of Sauron, we're going to this one anyway, so that's absolutely fine. So I love this Mouth of Sauron because of the new cheeky rule for the sense of impending doom. I like it. It's a little cheeky, little fun thing. So all those reroll ones stuff in like dual phases, I think. Is it dual? Yeah, dual rolls. That's actually cheeky. So it's honestly not too bad. So I don't mind it too much. But the +1 animosity on this list is crazy.
Oh shit, that's right.
Or like they don't even need animosity; it's just outnumber. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's the outnumbering. So
Oh, it's that stinky stuff.
It's the AOL version.
Yeah. AOL's not in this edition.
We'll talk about
but it
that.
is.
Cool.
So yeah, we've got the second Blackgate list here. This one just with the one troll chieftain. I didn't realize I was going to struggle trying to say troll chieftain. And then we've got the mouth of Sauron. So spamming out on those Morannon Orcs. Oh Jesus Christ! I just read the second warband properly.
That's right. You said spam, but I was like, you
Got
should read the
5
models.
I was just looking at MO. I was just looking, and I went, "Oh yeah, Morannon." No, brother, I apologize. There's 4 Mordor trolls, 1 Mordor troll chieftain. Oh my god! Yeah,
So Chad.
Defense 7.
I love it. That's phenomenal.
Defense 7, 4 wounds, right? Are they 4 wounds?
I think so. Yeah, they're 4 wounds now. I'm pretty sure they're still defense 7. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, defense 7, 4 wounds. Woo!
What a great spam Morannon Orc list. This is phenomenal. Now this is spicy.
It will be interesting to see whether it can get the kills fast enough to make up for 26 models.
Yeah.
Like, that is, you kill 14 Morannons and it breaks. Like the Mordor Troll Chieftain, the Mouth are both pretty brave, but then you win 1 move off, tie them up, and like poof.
They're running.
Well, I was going to say what I really like about this is that those Morannon Orcs, every single one of them, except for the banner, has a shield, which means you can happily just sit there and just go, cool. If I don't have that spear support, I will just shield. And the Morannon Orcs don't care if they just shield the entire game whilst those 5 fucking trolls run around the board and go, I'm going to pick you up, I'm going to throw you over there. Oh, your hero's on a horse? Nah, man, not anymore.
Relying on them to actually throw to where they need to, though, is a bit sketchy.
We're trying to be positive.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
I can't wait. Do you know what, Tyler? I can't wait for you to verse this list and for him to succeed every single hurl for the entire game.
I want to hear that. Next.
The other thing that it has in its favor is that it just genuinely has like 10 inches worth of troll.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like that's actually quite hard to engage.
Do you want to? Yeah, do
That
you
is
want to
a full
stop a
battle.
choke point? He's a troll. Oh, he's two
Mm.
trolls in a. It's just like boom, get through. Okay.
Indeed.
But we're moving on to the breaking of the fellowship. Take it away, Sam.
Yeah, so I think we've actually got two basically identical versions of this list. Both of them have. So this one has the full fellowship, everyone you'd expect, except Gandalf, alas. And then one, so Haldir with his bow and cloak, two elves with banner, four with bow, seven with spear. All of those guys, remember, are the old wood elves, so they are noticeably fragile. But I think that the double banner choice is quite interesting.
I was gonna say, doesn't I don't have the breaking of the fellowship rules up right here in front of me, nor
they
is
don't
it
have
in my
a
head.
banner anymore.
They
No,
don't have a banner
they
anymore.
used to, I believe.
Okay, so that's where I kind of understand the double banner, but
It's also pretty small front lines. I'm like, do you need to? I kind of feel like with 22 models, if someone has gotten into your banner, they've probably also gotten into the second banner.
the other banner as well.
Like,
But I mean, you only have what 15 warband slots in Haldir's warband.
that's true, actually. It probably is.
Like it's like two more. So what? You get two more dudes, and it's like cool. Would I rather have
do I
better
do now?
coverage?
Yeah, no, that's a legit point. Yeah.
Better
I like
coverage
that.
to make sure all your big heroes actually have a reroll, which isn't a bad thing, especially if you need a Spart, like just for one turn split slightly. It's like cool, I have coverage.
Yeah. No,
But
actually, I'm convinced.
yeah, so
Sold.
the highest bidder.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be fun.
This
So
one
next-
just like drops Pippin and gets an extra two dudes, I think.
Yeah.
And
Which
some-
I think makes perfect sense. I think you do that.
Yeah. Pippin is now categorically worse than Merry. He has slightly lower intelligence.
Oh, fool of a took.
Yep.
Two.
Yep. Makes
Alright.
sense.
Khan Doom. Or as some people call
Yeah.
it, Can't Dumb. But I want to retract that name because you can now take hill trolls in this list,
I think
which
it's actually now kind of okay.
yeah, the addition of hill trolls just elevated this list something chronic, and I'm there for it. It's also such an awesome aesthetic. So
Yeah.
Eldrac, the Mega Chad Warlord of Khandum, he's got 7 warriors of Khandum, 7 more warriors with spear, 1 with a banner. Now I believe they're 6-inch banners in Khandum. Yes. You've got Fret, Vassal of the Witch King, 3 warriors of Khandum, 3 more spear, 1 with a banner, 4 Angmar orcs with orc bow. That's cute. A couple of honesty bows. I'm there for it. Captain of Khandum, 1 hill troll. Let's go. 2 Angmar wild riders for a bit of that mobility. Spear and throwing, shield and throwing spears. 1 warrior of Khandum, 2 more with spear, and then another orc warrior with an orc bow. Moving
And then
into
that last
a
warband,
identical warband.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to speed it up. That's it. Great. I love it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Frex 5+ save. He only gets to do these things for 4 turns because it's user's will. But
It's pretty
on a turn, it's pretty good. I know all about it from versing Jay, and he
Just don't
rolled a
like
lot of
how
lives.
expensive these Karn Doom warriors are. This list
Yeah.
feels like. Look, I love the fact that you're taking this. Whoever's taking this list is absolutely Chad. It's the fact that you're Karn Doom. You're paying 9 points for fight. Like, am I looking at it? Am I looking at it the same? Because I'm looking at it, I'm go cool. So I just look to my right and I go, oh, Ministerial, give me fight value in the same, and I can get a shield wall capability. I don't know.
Yeah.
So what is their special rule? Is it +1
against
on
heroes.
heroes?
It's pretty.
That special rule
Oh.
is relatively niche. It's not going to happen all the bloody time.
So
Is
hard
it
to
worth?
proc.
Yeah, is it worth making them 9 points? No. That special rule is doing apparently some heavy lifting.
Like
Yeah.
this list also feels like a lot of models. It's actually only 44.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah,
it actually has heaps of warband slots. I think it's got another it's got 40 warriors, and I think it's got 54 warband slots or something.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Okay.
So, like, I think make most of the back line orcs instead of Khan'dum warriors.
Yeah.
And then you're just at like 54 models, and then that's
Better.
not as cool. But better.
Just the fact, why are they fight 3 D5?
They are
Like,
5-4 on the charge now. The whole list
on the
goes up to 5-4 on the
charge.
charge, I believe.
oh my
Which-
god, wow.
I know. I mean, it's kind of like Moradin's, like a little bit braver, but D5.
Yeah,
Why are
it's
they
the
D5?
default. Just
They're gonna get torn up by shooting. This is the
But I
thing
will
I'm scared
say,
of.
whoever's running this Khan'dum list, I have nothing but
respect.
respect, and I'm looking forward to the armies on parade. This is one of the armies I'm going to look for straight away. So hopefully it's
Chef's kiss.
Children of Dragolin, which is the Angmar wolf pack.
Yeah.
Now I'm pretty sure I know who's running this. A certain Victorian. Hello, mate. I see you. So, Wolfpack of Angmar. You've got 3 wild wags, one of them being that mega souped up chieftain leader. You've got just a lot of, was that 22 werewolves?
24
werewolves, and then 1 fell wag just sitting in there. God damn, I love this.
It's awesome.
I love this so much. Tyler, you don't look like you like it, but that doesn't matter.
They are D5 now. This
Yes.
list is dramatically harder to kill than it was last edition.
Yep.
Were they D4 previously?
They were. That's what the issue I had with them, because you just like strength 2 bows being effective against them made it bad. That was the concern.
I think also just like you run it, you happen to run into like dwarves or something, or Urkai, anything with strength 4, and you go into 2 dudes with spear supports, and you lose the combat because you've got 2 dice to their 4, probably plus a banner, and then they're just killing you on average dice.
Yeah, that is.
That probably doesn't
fair.
happen anymore.
Yeah.
So,
No.
And the heroes now, actually, the strength 4, just the basic strength 4 heroes now, at least they need 5 to wound
Need the
them, which
5s.
makes it just so
not
much
like
better.
auto killing your way through.
Exactly.
With
Yeah, no, very good. I do like this list. It's a bit of a meme list, but I, again, nothing but respect for it, and
I
for
think
the
it
player
locals.
who's playing it. I see you. All right, Defenders of Helm's Deep.
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in
Take
and
it away.
So, fairly standard set of heroes. Théoden, you have to take Legolas, Haleth, and Aragorn. Then a whole smattering of warriors. So you've got in total 7 Royal Guard, 3 of which have throwing spears. 6 Warriors of Rohan, 1 with banner, 3 with bow, 2 with throwing spear and shield. And then, actually, plus a few more in the next warband, 5 more throwing spears, 2 more with shield. And then, I actually had more in the last warband. I take it back. 2 more with bow, 5 more throwing spears, 1 more with banner. And then a bunch of Galadrim. I think in total 7, 9, 10, 13 Galadrim, of which 10 have elf bows.
Yep.
The rest have shields and spears, and 1 guy with a shield. 1 guy with just a spear. Cute. It's got overall 47 models, quite a lot of shooting. I'll pull up the exact stats, but I think 14 bows, 1 of which is Legolas. So that's like pretty grueling, and then a fair few throwing spears as well. Fight 5 everywhere it needs it. Aragorn's great. I think he's going up to fight 8 with Haleth around, which is pretty cheeky.
Watch out, here.
Yeah, Legolas, interestingly, no armor, as far as I can tell. I would definitely have given him armor over the Elven Cloak, but
really?
Don't need armor when you can hide.
I suppose so.
And I guess he would also be -1 to even hit him with shooting too, which is not too bad. But defense
combat.
4 is scared. Yeah, it's defense 4. You're feeling scared.
Absolutely.
But yeah, just generally I think it plays pretty similarly to last edition. Very grindy, doing good damage on the way in, and then just hoping to have the numbers edge and the by the time you get there with a few big heroes to supplement.
Yep, absolutely. We've got another Defenders of Helm's Deep.
Dropping I think it's
drastically.
10 models.
Yeah.
And I believe down to 1 banner instead of 2.
Yeah.
But it's upgrading Haleth to Gimli and Haldir, which sure is a lot more hitting power.
Absolutely. A boatload of bows sitting in there as well, with Haldir getting. Is he still get the double shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
It's
still
got
does.
similar shooting to the last list, because it's got a few less bows, but it's got Haldir.
Yeah. Moves a couple of those Galadrim warriors with bow into Warriors of Rohan with bow. But we've still got the couple of throwing spears in there as well, which is nasty. Yeah, very good.
Not bad. Good size.
The Moria.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Now,
I think we can cover the next 3 lists together because there was
Mhm.
literally one change between them as far as
okay,
I
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Spoiler. No, I'm just
Hey,
kidding.
brother, it's just a forward sell. I'm just forward selling. I will say, Depth of Moria with just Belrog and just spam goblins and a couple of cave trolls and whatnot. Phenomenal. At 600 points, this weekend just passed, came first at the first tournament in Queensland for the new edition. So clearly, it can do some damage. Again, Belrog, similar to the last edition, you're relying on rolling 6s on 4 dice or whatever. He does get 8-inch move now.
Very cheeky.
Is very, very nice. He doesn't get fly, but God, could you imagine that thing with fly? Ooh, disgusting. But yeah, so Depth of Moria, 50 models.
Yeah, I will say the fact that three players went for double cave troll over the Watcher. I think like at 850 points, that's kind of the first point where you can field the Balrog and the Watcher, and that sure is a list. Like, it's
that's
26 models or something. Like it's pretty rough. I think.
Especially because you can peel off the problems that the Balrog is facing and just buy the Balrog a turn or heroic combat and it just gives you so many options.
Indeed.
So
banner assassination. You're like, I don't have banner VPs. Guess what? Neither do you.
Yeah. Or
Phenomenal.
I need my Watcher just to pop up on the objective or around the objective that's on the other side of the board that I can't easily just march to.
How did this list play Recon? This version, it's a bit tricky. The version with the Watcher, like, you stop getting off, the Watcher pops up and there's 5 models off.
Yeah, it's dominant 5. You're like, yep, cool, thank you.
Disgusting. But yep, so that's the next 3 lists.
The only difference is they go from 15 bows down to 10 bows down to 8 bows.
There you go. Just
I love the 8 bows. 8 bows, you're a Chad. Thank you.
I remember
Now, we're moving on to the big one, the one that everyone's been waiting for. Desolator of the North. Yucky. I'm going to name and shame right now. I know one player I know all of them who's playing Smaug, but the one player I'm going to name and shame is Paddy Matrega.
Yep.
Look, if I crash on the way to CanCon, you're not playing, mate. That's all I got to say. What he's
bringing if you don't bring Smaug though? Eagles.
Ugh, boring.
You're doomed either way.
I had so much respect for this guy bringing Wolfpack at Masters, and he comes and does this.
Yeah.
That is absolutely bullshit. I'm like, I got
a message from Pat, and he goes, "Hey man, I've just asked Liam to grab my Smaug so you can bring it to me for CanCon." I was like, "Huh?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play Smaug." It's like, "Oh, brother, no."
Like, who hurt you, man? Like,
brother, please.
Smaug, maybe.
Smaug. Smaug is yucky. There is one person going to this tournament that could potentially stop all of these Smaugs, and that is the Dale player.
I think there's actually like all of the siege weapon lists. Realistically,
no. Just the Dale list.
But also, especially the Dale player.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, Desolator of the North. I'm just going to quickly do this. Desolator of the North. There's 4
Personally,
of
I
them.
think I liked the first one best.
I don't know. Number 3, I think he's just built the list right.
Yeah,
It
that's
really,
true. I think the formatting.
yeah,
I think it's more
yeah.
centered.
It's just, yeah, it's very well done. But we're moving on to our second stat of the day, and this is just total numbers of everything showing up to the tournament. So
Yeah.
not a crazy statistic that Sam has gone and found for us. I just thought it'd be funny to throw it in there. There's 2,528 models showing up to this event.
Yep.
Incredible. 500.
109 monsters.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
79 bows, 66 might, 688 might, 456 greater than 6-inch moving models, 32 casters, which feels very low.
It's
I was
so
expecting a
low
lot
compared to
more.
last edition.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
people have really
100%.
jumped on the like casters bad now bandwagon.
Yeah,
I think they're
I think
wrong.
no,
But
they're wrong. It's still bloody good. 109 monsters. I think Eagles is supplementing that something crazy, right?
well, I
Because you
think
can
so. I
get
think
And
the Eagles and Radagast's alliance list. So there's 24, 30, 36. I think there's 44 monsters in those lists.
there is 44 Eagles showing up to this event.
No, I think there might be more than that. There's a couple of Guahirs in lists that aren't.
That wasn't put into that stat. Yeah, it's crazy.
Actually,
12,
no. So actually, I think 44 is right. Actually, I think it evens out. Yep.
12 siege weapons, and then we've got 77 banners. So that is across every single list coming to this tournament. We've already seen these two, Desolators of the North, Paddy Matrega, why'd you do this?
Jack Stockton, why'd you
Jack
do
Stockton.
this?
Is Liam taking Desolator?
I have no freaking clue, and I don't
Probably.
even want to freaking know about it.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Unbelievable. I hope I don't verse any smile because I'll just ask for a draw.
And they'll do.
I will literally dismount every hero and put him in a building and just say no.
Yep.
Shay, away. Go away.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, Tyler, talk to us about Ents, because I believe there's 4 Ent
Four
lists.
different
It's
lists.
actually
Now,
only 3. I think there was a
Oh,
few.
three. Yeah.
either way, I think the difference ends up being the fact that like you can either take the 3 heroes and you're at 800, or you don't only take 2 heroes and you're at 850. So this one has Treebeard, 2 Ents with Ash. And which one's the Ash one? Is that the half move throwing weapon one, or I can't even remember. Let me see.
Yes.
It is, right? That's the
Ash
and then
is
B.
flowing weapon. Chestnut is mighty blow. Oak is
Yes.
4 wounds. Beach
And
is 3 roll ones.
They took Beach. Wow, that's cheeky. Oh, I guess you have to
only
take
have one
each one.
beach, yeah.
Yeah, that's why. So they had to commit to the Oak and Chestnut and then get the extra Ash because of the throwing stone. Yep, dope. 9 models though.
Yep.
Cheeky. I like
It's
it.
pretty cool.
Pretty
we
nice.
Got the
Yep.
next one.
It'll stomp some people in 4 out of 6 scenarios.
Yeah.
And it
And you
sure
love
will
it.
play Destroy the Supplies and Recon.
It just has to. The only issue I think is just the move. I genuinely think the Ents should have been move 8 this edition. Because it's just ridiculous. Because it's like now they're still moving at the normal rate of a genuine shield wall, and you're just like, so in the 6 scenarios right now where mobility is kind of actually needed, I would say either mobility or you're consistently getting quality output through your shooting. Don't get me wrong, if they stand still, it's fine, but they have to then stand still, or it's like Ash and you're depending on Ash actually just getting the wounds for you. It's like it's only one throwing weapon. It's not like it has piercing shot or anything. It's just meh.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
that's just me.
I think the mobility is only a huge issue in Supplies and Recon. I think Fog, you just don't lose Beachbone, or Maui and Pippin, which is slightly harder. And like to the death, yeah, they'll shoot you a bunch on the way in, but unless they've got siege weapons or crossbows, you're like, your strength 2 or 3 bows.
They got a spike. Their
But can they
rolls quite
target?
high.
Can they target Mary and Pippin?
Not with shooting,
But in combat, you
in
can.
combat you can.
See, that's a concern because, like, I've seen Treebeard with. We've all
Indeed.
felt it, and so it's just one of those things
is
where if he whiffs against any hero, and you want to break the army, you literally target Mary and Pippin, get rid of them, and be done.
chatting with Rowan May from the UK. He's been running Fangorn a bit, and he thinks that potentially you just run 10 points down and don't take them.
Don't take them. Don't have the risk.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
don't
kind of
have the risk.
see, yeah. Though also like no one's actually committing resources to Treebeard, so
Yeah.
probably they're safe in most games, but it is still scary.
Yeah, absolutely. And the third and final one.
Same as the
Ooh.
first one. Wait, maybe
Why
a
is
little
it
bit.
3?
Yeah. Is this an incorrectly built list?
Yeah, you must split the types of Ents as evenly as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Look, they can take 2 ashes.
they
But
can take
everything else needs to.
Oh, can you? Does it specifically say you can take 2 ash?
Like,
No,
no.
it's,
As in there's 5 normal Ents. So you take the first 4, one of each 4,
Yeah,
and then the additional
And then
one
you
you
can
choose.
take the I'll have to get back to Stucky on this one.
Yep.
If you could do this, goddamn, what a crazy list.
Is it be?
No bid.
It's
Yeah.
not bad.
Wait, why do you take 2 beaches?
I
Beaches are the
hate
worst
beach
one.
though. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
What's beach do again?
He's the
Reroll ones.
reroll ones. I don't need reroll ones. I want
Brother,
mighty
no.
blow, or I want more wounds.
Yeah,
More
give me
wounds.
the
A
more
4
wounds.
wound. And
4 wounds every time. I actually think
Yeah.
if you could take 5 of the same, you'd take.
You just take them
5
5.
of the 4
Ooh.
wounds.
Look, in terms of durability, yeah, I'd agree, 100%, no question. Cool.
All right. Well, after that list, Eagles. Now, I want to say, Sam, I need to ask this question because I was going to run Eagles at one point to this tournament until I ran Eagles last weekend and I went, this is boring. I got to 9 Eagles because I decided to take a couple of fledglings.
Yep.
Now, I believe all of these Eagle lists are all just going Great Eagles.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the thought process behind dropping down one model?
So I think there's a bunch of things. So first of all, the extra model, it's really hard to get 9 Eagles into fights sometimes. So you're not gaining quite as much as it might look like you're gaining. What you're giving up is actually a lot more than it looks. Because you go from fight 7 to fight 6, so you can no longer bulk a bunch of heroes. There's a whole bunch of heroes who can just go into you, don't even need to strike.
Yeah.
You go from strength 6 to strength 5, pretty noticeable in a lot of circumstances.
Oh, that is huge.
Hurled into all
Yeah.
sorts of things like that when you're not charging. Defense 8 down to defense 7, massive. You're just genuinely twice as fragile against strength 3 troops. So you go from kind of not caring about strength 3 troops to actually caring about them.
Yep.
And then lower courage and intelligence actually comes up more than you'd think, particularly when you want to hit a lot. And then lower dominant as well.
Yeah.
People often leave 2 models on an objective. 1 great eagle's like, no, fuck you, that's mine.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
No,
Actually
those are completely reasonable reasons to get rid of the fledglings. I enjoyed using the fledglings, but as you mentioned,
it's
low
600,
intelligence.
take them. Yeah.
It's basically the only way to run at 600.
Yeah.
But you're right with that
It's a
lower
lot of
intelligence.
insights.
Oh my god, the amount of times I was like, I need a hurl. And the only dude that can do it is this fledgling. Oh, you rolled a 4? Cool.
Fuck.
I
It's
guess.
just here's this
guess I
big
w't.
weakness to your list that doesn't
Yeah.
exist.
It's the same thing. Like the fight 7 is actually so
Huge.
huge that it's even greater because now if they strike up and they do a strike combat and they roll a 1 and you're like, let's run it, fight 6 hero. Now you're fight 7. We're mono y mono. Let's run it. And if you're trying to heroic combat off of them, the defense 8 is huge. Rohan heroes can mow through the fledglings with the strength 5. Anything that gets up to like strength 5 will murder the fledglings. Versus strength 5, you're looking at the eagle. You're like, roll your 6s. Try it. I don't care if you commit might to kill my great eagles. Fantastic. It means Gua here doesn't have to cop any of the might going at him.
Yeah,
Not totally fantastic. You're still losing great eagles.
Hey.
Yeah, that's it. I will say I found success on the weekend with those fledglings, using them as bait for my opponent's big heroes.
That's it.
And one of them was what's his name, Azog, and just throwing a Great Eagle just slightly out there so my opponent could jump on there and use might to combat instead of strike, and then doing that, and then Gwahi going, haha, I'm also combating and now you're dead. That's where I found, use with those. They were my throwaways. They were like, cool, if I'm losing a fledgling, it sucks, but is what it is. Yeah.
And the courage, I will say, is a huge thing as well. Because against any Harbinger list, it means that at least the Great Eagles go down to Elf Courage versus the fledglings go down to Dwarven Courage. And you're like, ooh, okay, so they probably...
One every 4 times.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it.
I totally, like, to be clear, at any, like, even points value, like, multiple of 100, you absolutely take 2 fledglings.
Yeah.
And I think at any other points value, you don't.
Yeah. No,
Makes sense.
if it's got the 50 in there, yep, makes sense.
Cool.
That's it. We got 3 of those eagle lists, all exactly the same. My favorite is number 3. We're now moving on to Erebor Reclaimed. Who wants to take it away?
I'll jump in. It is 8 points under, which I know that not much could be done about that, but 8 points. Anyway, it's a very simple list. It's got Thorn, Dwalin, and Gloin. It's got 1 Iron Hills warrior with banner and shield, and then what is that? 38 Iron Hills warriors with shield and spear.
Yep.
It
Solid.
sure is defense 7 or 8 everywhere you look.
Yep. And that's what it's going to
do.
You don't need crossbows. You just you slowly move your way towards where you want to be, and then you sit there and get through me. I'm the same defense as a Great Eagle. What are you gonna do?
This is gonna stomp some people. Again, like the Ents, I think it'll stomp some people in most of the scenarios, and then it will play recon, and 1 cavalry will get to the other side, and they'll go, huh. That's hard.
I wish I had a troll brute.
I wish I had a goat rider.
Or crossbow.
Yeah.
I think this has leaned hard into what the list is best at, which means it will do really well when it can do its thing. But also, supplies, recon, it's gonna just have a bit of a hard time against conventional lists.
Yeah,
100%. We move into another Erebor Reclaimed. Oh, is this the one?
Other end of the spectrum.
Wow.
Is it?
It's got pretty much all the heroes. Ori, Nori, and Dori, that trio. Gloin, but no Oin. Biffa and Boffa. Boffa on, but no Bomber. Boffa's on top of his troll brute. And Dwalin, but no Balin. And Thorin with 4 dudes, one of which has a banner. I think yes, this one does have Ori, which is pretty clutch, because that means that Gloin, Dori, Dwalin,
I'm pretty sure
Thorin with Orcrest,
Yep.
and Boffa if he gets dismounted, they're all getting Weapon Master.
Biffer as well. Biffer has 2-handed weapon.
True, in this list,
In this list. But I definitely would drop Biffer for Oin. That's just me. The Master of Battle on a 5+ is pretty cheeky, especially if you're needing him to call a move. The banner effect, I know Thorn's already won and so on and so forth. It's just cheeky. I think I like Oin. Also, giving another fate to Gloin is freaking. It's go cool. So he goes up to 4 fate. You're like, oh, thanks. Great.
We move on to these are my favorite stats. My favorite one to always look at is what states are being represented at a tournament and how many of each are going. Now, this being played in ACT, which is a small little dot within New South Wales. So you're going to get a huge contingent of New South Welshmen. Canberra is 3 hours from Sydney, if I'm not mistaken. So they can travel quite easily.
Depending on if you pay the hands tall.
Yeah. We've then got 22 Victorians as our next largest contingent showing up. I believe it's about a 6 to 8 hour drive from Melbourne to Canberra. So you're going to see a fair few of them. We've got only 6 people from Canberra going, which is...
I mean, it's kind of 7. I've counted myself as a Queenslander.
Yeah, there we go. So Sam lives in Canberra, so he is technically the 7th Canberrian to go, but I've put him into the Queensland number because in my heart he's a Queenslander.
Yeah. Also, Canberra, no one is from Canberra. Like,
yeah, exactly.
No one is from some. You can have been in Canberra like 10 years. You're like, oh yeah, I'm from Queensland.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're born in Canberra, you are where your parents are from, which is usually somewhere else. And if they were born in Canberra, well then it's where your grandparents are from.
Cascades to the grandparents.
And it just keeps,
is that what you're trying to say?
It just keeps going. It just keeps going.
Eventually, you get past Federation, and you're like, okay, well, they could not have been from Canberra.
Yeah, exactly. That's
funny.
it.
Nice.
Next up, we have the Queenslanders. Now, there is, I believe, 2 of us coming from Queensland itself. Then we've got Sam, we've got Paddy Matraga, who lives in New South Wales, and we've got Riley, who also lives in New South Wales, but I put them down as Queenslanders because...
You needed some state representation. You needed to force some. Jesus Christ!
Absolutely.
Couldn't be Victoria.
Look, all I want to say is, the Queenslanders are spread so far and wide within the Australian community that the Tasmanian League is run by a Queenslander. Anyway, we've got 2 people coming from South Australia, and then we've got 1 Western Australian. So they're making a big trek. So the flight from Western Australia has got to be 4 or so hours.
5 hours?
Maybe 5.
There's like 5.
There's no way you drive it. It's like it's even longer than 2-day drive, surely, from west to east coast. Queensland, you're looking at about, if traffic holds up well, you're looking at about a 12-hour drive from the south end of Queensland to ACT. South Australia, probably a similar amount of time if they're driving that Queensland is holding. But yeah, it's great.
Oh, it's awesome.
You love to see this. It's good that we're all coming together. Mm-hmm. We move on to Harad. Double Mumak. Tyler, because you said you hate it, I want you to read it.
Son of a gun.
At least
it's like so many lists here. I'm just like, yeah, I just fucking lose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every list that I look at, I'm like, oh god, if I face that, I'm in trouble.
It's like fucking I'm praying, man. Okay. We have the Mumak War Leader. Right. 5 warriors with bow in the Howner. Then we have another War Mumak with Gnarl Hide, Beastmaster Chieftain upgrade, tusk weapons, repelling lines, 8 Haradrim with spear, and 4 with bow. So overall, 21 models. It's pretty cheeky. I like the fact that they realize it shouldn't be able to strike anymore. So you know what? That's a fantastic change. Nice. I do like the heroic combat capability, which you would feel it should have anyway. And I love the fact that you actually have to pin it with enough above its strength value to actually stop it from trampling, which is like, you can't just send one little cheeky Minister tin can or whatever to be like, but sir, no. So yeah, I like the idea of Mumaks. Do I like playing them? Playing against them? No. Do I like playing with them? Absolutely. So
yeah, and I think this will be similar to that Blackgate Legendary Legion in the sense of you have to spend so many resources to drop one of them. You got to drop 2 of them now. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. And if the tramples go off, especially against my list with my little shitters with 0 courage and D3, oh my god.
What do you think I'm meant to do, brother?
Yeah, Brother, we're in strife.
Yeah.
Dude, we're praying.
Yeah.
I will say this list will not like all of the other monsters.
Yeah. No.
That's
Mm-mm.
The Eagles, the Vatigus, the Lions, the Smaug. Like, what does it do against the Smaug?
Trample it. It has enough gusto.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, this will absolutely stomp some people's day, and then probably come into one of the siege weapon lists or the monster lists, and then
yeah. I think this will be a very good, like, I call them gatekeeper lists. So it'll stop certain lists in those first few games, which will just make, or potentially make whoever that is struggle to hit that podium later on. If this gets up to those top end tables in round 4, like, I can't see it getting past round 4. I can't see it'd struggle to get past round 3, in my opinion.
I think it totally could if it just kept getting lucky matchups.
Oh,
If we got,
100%.
yeah, obviously optimal matchups. I mean, who would have thought that ends up winning
Yeah,
a tournament,
exactly,
right?
so
Exactly.
that's
I
it.
love optimal matchup. Anyway, moving on.
Halls of Thran, Daddy.
Yeah.
All right, so 37 models. We've got Thranduil. He's got his great elk and heavy armor. You got 8 Palace Guard, 4 with shield, 4 with shield and spear. You got 10 Mirkwood elves, 6 with glaive. Oh, sorry, you got 6 elf warriors, 6 with glaive, and then you got the 4 elf knights. We go on to Legolas with elven cloak and horse. He's got 3 Palace Guard with spear and shield, 5 warriors with glaives. Oh god, glaives are so good. And then you got 4 more knights. 8 knights in total. I'm quite like that. Is that too many? I don't know. And then we got Tariel with Elfbow and 4 Mirkwood Rangers. Quite a solid list. Tyler, you are our resident like Thranduil player here at MGG, so take it away, sir.
Look, for me, I think I'll let Sam actually do this
There's
because
no
he has written an article on Halls of Thranduil. So you know what? I'm gonna actually pass it over
Okay.
to him, and
I
I'll
feel
let
like I'm
him
just
do
being
the
left.
first one.
Yep.
The next one, however, one of these lists, I don't know. I may know the person playing it. Okay, and we'll
I
go
feel
from
like
there.
I'm being given a bad cop role here because someone's
And now
gonna
Sam's
say,
going to handball it off to
that's
me.
like 11 Palace Guard, and you should have like 3.
You should have like 6 smacks or something. Yeah, I said the
Palace
same
Guard
thing.
aura just doesn't like it's 3 inches.
It's not big. It's not big enough to supplement this.
And realistically, you should never have Palace Guard on the front line because you probably want them as Fight 6 spear supports, and they can only do their thing in a tight little bubble of Thranduil. If you've got Fight 6 spear supports near Thranduil, then you don't need Fight 6 guys in front who are paying like 3 points for bodyguard and Fight 6 that's duplicated by the
Situational.
But Sam, you're now telling me my list from 2019 where I spammed out 26 Palace Guard is shit.
It was suboptimal. Now, I will say, in total fairness to this person, Palace Guard are expensive in points and cheap in dollars. Mirkwood Elf Warriors are expensive in dollars and cheap in points.
Yep.
Like, I've got a heap of Palace Guard.
So hear me out.
3 of them. What are the other?
Make your Palace Guard your Wood Elf Warriors, and make your Wood Elf Warriors your Palace Guard.
I think that's harder now that you actually want like glaives everywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Glaives are pretty like.
Those glaives are yoked this edition.
Oh, they're pretty yoked. This list also like only has 6 bows. Like it's 9 shots, but like it could just have. I mean, we'll see the other lists. They could have 15.
We'll see what's up next then. With another Halls of Thranduil. Now, Tyler, is this the one that you were talking about?
Yes, this is the one I was talking about. So it has Thranduil, heavy armor, elk, no worries. 6 Palace Guard with shield and spear. 4 Mirkwood elves with bow. 2 Mirkwood elf knights. 3 Mirkwood elves with shield, 1 with glaive. Legolas just with elven cloak. 4 with shield, 4 glaives, 4 bows, 2 Mirkwood rangers. And then we have a Palace Guard captain with shield, 4 glaive, 4 bow, roughly around 17 shots, 14 bows in total. I'm pretty sure. Don't
I
ask me
think
how I know that.
15 bows and 17 shots. That's
Is it 15 bows? Oh yeah, sorry. 15 bows, 17 shots. I think this is the way you can look. You can swap Palace Guard. You can drop a shield guy and bring in Tario if you really want to. I like the March. I like the Fight 7. It's situational. I know he doesn't get the +1 to wound anymore,
Yeah,
but him just being a little bit of a might caddy with Thranduil is nice. And
But
yeah,
wouldn't we might be a better mind caddy.
it would, but the concern becomes D5.
Indeed, that's fair.
The D5 and she can. I'm a big Taro fan in Battle 5 armies. I just think it almost like Tario reminds me of like the last editions, but like a last edition's Hashirin. Like she's just so good at going on a little venture away from the normal battle line and going and getting an objective or being able to just be a nuisance around edges of battle lines more so. That's just me. And I love the shooting capabilities she brings. But yeah, Fight 7 Palace Guard Captain automatically, especially in an edition where now it's a D3 strike. I find it to actually be really, really, really beneficial. So
I think that's like this is broadly how I'd run Halls of Thranduil.
I was going to say I wrote
850, you can actually take if you put Thranduil on foot, which loses some hitting power, but does mean that like he's always in the center of your battle line with the and like I think at 850 there's a lot of things that are scary enough that Thranduil will be playing defensively anyway.
Yeah.
And if you put him on foot and drop like I think it's genuinely like 2 or 3 models, you can get and like switch a few, like cut a couple Palace Guard down to normal dudes, etc. I think you can get both an ordinary Mirkwood Captain and Tario. Which you don't get the Fight 7, but the ordinary Captain is effectively 3 attacks.
With the glaive,
With the glaive,
With
that's
the glaive,
right,
yeah. Makes sense.
You're still getting the March. You've got 3 more might than this version.
Is the captain though? That captain is D6, right?
He is. So you are losing things for that.
So you're like it's bodyguard and
Bodyguard Fight 7 D6.
Yeah, or D. Yeah, it's those things that are. But I can definitely see the argument for either or. 100%. No, makes sense. But 45 models feels freaking sweet.
Oh, it looks bloody scary. That's for sure. We move on to another Halls of Thranduil. Oh my lord. You guys aren't going to like this one.
I'm incensed. I'm filled with rage.
There's too many Palace Guard.
It's an evil world we live in. What the hell is this?
Thranduil without the elk. Thoughts on that immediately?
Yeah, I actually really like it, to be honest. I've gone back and forth on it. Like it's sad to lose the hitting power, but I actually just think that there are so many circumstances where when you have him on the elk, you want to play him differently to how he otherwise wants to be played.
Yeah, but you can be disciplined. You don't have to. You can be disciplined.
But also, like, if you're
not everyone's name is Tyler.
Yeah, but are you then getting 30 points worth of value out of the elk? Is kind of
because my base is bigger and I affect more of my +1 dudes. Absolutely, you're right.
If he's on the front line, he doesn't actually affect anymore because it's still unless you're like curved around him.
No, that's what I mean. I never have him try. I just sit him at the back and you just sit him 2 ranks deep and freaking
to affect 1 extra dude.
Support piece out the wazoo. But yeah, what is this? This is 12.
17.
That's a lot of Palace Guard, but you do get Tariel.
7 Mirkwood Rangers? What?
I don't like that. I don't really like Rangers.
Mirkwood Rangers just.
I don't mind them sprinkled in as again. The reason why I like them like 2 max.
I can see 2.
Is literally because of the fact that they as well remind me of Hashirin, just no might. No, like obviously the shitter version, the idea is they can go off, be elven cloaked or stalked unseen, and actually kind of just creep around and try and go for fog of war objectives, or in the last edition, other objectives that you may need to get, so on and so forth.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Moving on, we move into the last alliance. Again, I want to pass this over to Tyler.
Yeah,
just because
I do.
again, this is his bread and butter. Again,
I'd
Look,
say cover all 4 of these.
all 4, because they're basically the same, right? They're
Yeah,
but
I
like
believe
I'm
so.
pretty sure there's not even a difference in the heroes. I'm pretty sure so many of these Chads went. They all of the Last Alliance people out there. The fact that you went both Gilgalad and Elendil, I love you. You are Chef's kiss. You are a blessing to this community. Anyway, so we have Gilgalad here, and it's basically the lists basically have roughly what's the difference in Kingsguard model count?
So I think
so we got 7 in this one. We move on to
7 in that one.
7 in that, and where are we?
None in that
one.
None, but 2 extra models. They've
Yep.
got a few more
Yep.
ones.
And then is there only 3 or 4?
Oh, there's
should
a
be
4th
4.
one,
And then that's
and then we
another
got-
7.
Oh no,
this
that's a
one's got
lot more.
heaps.
That's
Oh
spammed
no,
out.
sorry, that's spammed out. Sorry, I can't even
It's
read.
spammed out Numenor. It's got lots of Warriors of Numenor
Yep.
and lots of Kingsguard.
Kingsguard. Cool.
And a
Yes.
Captain
So-
of Numenor instead of a Rivendell Captain, which is like
Yeah. So look, this army is going to really suffer from mobility if it a lot of the time. So it's going to suffer in what we've been harping on about: recon, destroy the supplies, that sort of jazz. Once it gets into combat, though, it is gonna feel pretty nice. It's gonna be chopping, slicing, and dicing all day. It turns into what I feel is a read and react army because of the special rule with the threat of just rolling a natural 6 and just
Doing a
like
wound.
you're not incentivized to always have to call heroic moves anymore with this army list. I feel you're like, you know what? I'm already in a quality position. I didn't lose that many guys this last turn. Go ahead, you call your move. Or I have priority. You know what? Actually, I'll give it to you so I can read and react where my heroes need to go. So on and so forth. So I genuinely love the fact that they took both High Kings. Competitively, though, I definitely would take one hero that would be on horse. Mine would be a Sealdor. And Gilgalad, because the fight 6 Kingsguard in this edition is huge. And then a Sealdor with a Rivendell captain. That would be the way I would build it. But kudos to these people running Elendil and Gilgalad.
Because we've got 1, 2, 3,
4.
3
Four.
Rivendell. No, 3
three
Rivendell
Rivendell
captains.
captains.
None mounted. Interesting. Just final question on this last line stuff, Tyler. Thoughts on not taking a shield on Gilgalad?
Brother, stop it. Why you got to, dude, you hurt me, man. Get this elf a shield. What the? Oh, man. I can never say it
Amazing.
enough. Like, why the fuck they put a picture of him with a shield in the book? Oh, man.
It is funny.
It's an absolute laugh. We move on to Legions of Mordor. So this is 24
sure is a
model
list.
list. This
Yeah.
sure is a list. Sam, take it away, please, Sam. This is all
absolutely.
yours.
So it is the Witch King of Angmar with almost literally everything he can have except the flail, and like 14 Morannons, standard battle line with 1 banner in there, and then the Murok War Leader with seven Harad bows in top.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I just
Simple
have
models.
to ask, can the Haradrim warriors take a banner?
They can.
Oh, I would have put the banner in the I would have put Jack Stockton literally did that, I think, for Articon. He put the banner in the Howder. He was like, yeah. You can't get it. Can't
What
touch
you gonna
this.
do?
It is absolutely what I would, particularly with 24 models. Like, I
Yep.
mean, you've got 7 in the War Leader, so you've got 14 dudes on the ground,
Yeah.
like protecting that banner.
Is gonna be
That's going to be a task.
no chance.
Yeah.
Defense 10 wound model. That's 8 defense 8. That has a chance.
That probably has many chances.
So yeah. Cool. Nice.
It's a very cool list.
Oh, it is. I'm a big fan. I like what is this? The 3rd Mumup that's showing up? Crazy. We move on to Lothlorien. Sam, give us the rundown.
So it's Galadriel, Celeborn, and Haldir. Galadriel has her mirror, which cheekily now gives her +1 to priority rolls. Very useful.
Use. 100%.
Yeah. Then of the warriors, so there's 14 Lothlorien warriors, the Wood Elves, all with bows, taking it to I think 15 15 bows, 16 shots.
Yep.
And then 43 models. Basically, all of the rest are just Galadrim warriors. There's 2 banners in there. A bunch of them, pretty much everyone except the banners, have been upgraded to Lorien Guard, which I believe is reroll 1s.
Yes, reroll 1s. But yeah, they can only be upgraded. Can they only be upgraded in Celeborn's Orbin?
That was what I had in my head as well, but I wonder whether that's.
I'm just curious because, like, yeah, I can't remember. Maybe I'm fibbing. No, I'm fibbing. I'm fibbing. I'm fibbing. Both of them had the option.
I was going to say, I feel like it makes sense that both of them could.
But reroll 1s when making strikes. So yeah,
that's handy. There's been a bit of contentions, maybe too strong of a word, but a lot of people talking down about Lothlorien and that it has lost a lot of its power from the previous edition. Personally, I don't believe it has. I don't think it's taken a major nerf as everyone says they have. It's still powerful. It's still got its place. You're still spamming out 43 elves. D6 with shield, D5 with shield.
Yeah, D6.
D6 with shield, sorry, yep. You still got a boatload of bows. You've got double casters in Celeborn and Galadriel. And look, Haldir.
Both quality. I mean, the writhing vines against cavalry models that charge.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that rule.
So cheeky. Oh. You're like, there, sir.
Yeah, stop.
It's like no. You don't get the cav charge. Tough luck. Like,
yeah, that's
it's so huge. I definitely think it has play. The issues I have is obviously, look, you have the mirror. It's if you ever have to have agency to actually say, like, not play to a stall, like, in theory this is good in the trenches, right? But if you have to have agency to actually break through or breach through a wall, you do not.
Yeah,
that's the reality. But in terms of
Haldir,
dude, Haldir, he just oh man, give me Orphan over this shit.
I probably agree.
Because at least Orphan would give you the 3 attack semi breacher for the list that you could feel like, oh, you know what? I can have some agency. This, it's like you don't want to go in like with Haldir. You kind of want to, like, maybe one dude and make sure that he's so tight knit in the battle line that he can't get charged by heroes.
This is very reliant on your just individual troops and warriors just clutching out.
I think the 2 things that have actually hurt Lothlorien, to my mind, it's just the temporary absence of Guards of the Galadrim Court and Knights. Like, Guards of the Galadrim Court mean that you don't just have the perfect answer to fight 5 and 6 heroes anymore. Like, therefore they can churn through your troops, and you're like, that's annoying.
That's stinky.
And the lack of knights means that, like, destroy the supplies. You go from, like, I outshoot you, I'll sit back and, like, gun you down and then send 2 cavalry around to destroy a supply. You go from having that to, like, if I sit back and shoot you, I need to make sure you touch none of my objectives.
Yeah, I have to give you so much space on the approach, and now it's like, oh, I have to pray that I pin all your guys, like, and am able to win priorities consistently enough. Don't get me wrong, the mirror helps with that. Yes. Then you have to win moves, and it's just dicey. Like, I used to always take Lothlorien Captain on horse over Haldir because of the fact that it had March, and it had a hero that Celeborn could consistently enchant blades and give him that damage output, in a sense. And now that's where I'm like, I'm hopeful that the Galadrim Knight Captain or Galadrim Captain ends up getting a horse. But we probably won't. It's we can pray.
Yeah. I mean, the Rivendell Captain gets a horse because Rivendell Knights exist.
Yes.
So hopefully, once Galadrim Knights exist, the Galadrim Captain will get a horse.
Give me Celeborn on horse.
Well, I think it would be really cool if Celeborn got, like, a martial profile in the same way that Galadriel does.
Yeah,
you could, like,
that'd be sick.
Yeah, like, maybe he loses his +1 to wound bubble, but gains back his combat stats. Like,
that'd be pretty sick.
I think you could do interesting things.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got our next stat block.
Yeah.
So this is the fun one. I'll move
Yeah.
this camera out the way just a little bit. But yeah, here we go. So number
Yeah,
of lists
absolutely.
with or number of
Number of-
lists that. So take
Yeah.
us away, Sam.
Well, actually, sorry. The Eag, I think there might be I'll talk through these things. I think don't pay too much attention to the title. I didn't write that.
I did.
Yeah, straight up. But no, there were 44 Eagles attending this tournament. That's a few. And I realized there was a list resubmitted. There are now actually 2 lists that could have taken a banner and chose not to. The Harad list could have stuck a banner up on that Murok, and the Gundabad list could have taken a banner, and they didn't. And those are the only 2 out of. There's a bunch of lists that don't have banners, but they're ones like Smaug that can't.
Yeah.
There are 31 Fight 8 models or Fight 8 plus models attending. Obviously, like a few of them are crammed into, like, every Last Alliance list has 2. Most of the Radagast Alliance lists have 2, etc. But it's still, that's a lot of Fight 8. There is one list that could have taken a monster and chose not to. Like, I believe that every other list that had the option for a monster in it took one.
What was it?
Men of the West. So, like,
Yeah.
it's a list where you actually
Damo.
give up a lot for it.
Damo, go for the
Yeah.
Sorry.
Big Chad.
Big Chad.
Yeah. 27 casters, as we said. So many less. 27 lists with casters, I believe.
Yes, that's what it is.
And yeah, so that so many less than last edition. Like, particularly for an 850-point tournament where you get more big heroes and you have, which is good prey for the casters, and you have more points to afford casters.
Yeah.
Like, last edition, I reckon we'd have seen maybe 2/3 of the lists with spellcasters. Now we're down to like 1/3. Yeah. 32 lists with monsters, 6 lists with siege weapons. So I think that's actually down to 5. I think there's a duplicate assault on Helm's Deep, and 56 lists taken banners.
Perfect.
That makes sense.
Beautiful.
And VP is good.
Now, talking about a list that is not taking a monster, but could have, Men of the West.
Absolutely.
So good.
All right. Now, you mentioned, Tyler, you're pretty sure this is Big Man Damo. Big man. All right, so he's gone with the Gorn, a couple of Warriors of Minas Tirith with assorted war gear, a couple of Warriors of Rohan with assorted war gear, Gimli with a mixture of Warriors of Minas Tirith and Warriors of Rohan, Legolas, same thing, and Aemma, same thing. So he's gone for the all-foot option, except for the 2 heroes in Aragorn and Aemma. Now, God, I love Firefoot on Aemma with that 12-inch move is huge. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Thoughts on not taking Gwar here in this, or an eagle in general?
It really is interesting because clearly Firefoot and the Armored Horse for King Elsar, excellent purchases, very good value. Gwar here, also an excellent purchase, very good value. I think Gwar here at 850, actually the points are slightly awkward. Like, you end up kind of needing to take another eagle, or like having weird choices going on. And I think probably you don't want the eagle. I playtested it. It was pretty good. They did like the banner reroll from Elisar, but overall, I kind of wish. I think at 750, you definitely take Gwar here. Or maybe even at 800. At 850, I think you go back to mounted heroes, just because of the way the points work. But I think you go for 3 heroes and like 45 models.
Yeah, that's fair. Look, I definitely would probably want to do Aragon. I wouldn't want to take Gwar here. I probably would want my Aragon on horse, AMR on horse. No question. Just because of the fact it's just it's the damage output that they can provide your army, to your army and actually breach through. I find Eagles. Look, it's Gwahir's all well and good, but sometimes he fluffs. The amount of times he fluffs is sucks, and the heroic actions when he calls, if he has to call anything, doesn't affect anybody else. I just don't find that
I think you just
Guahir.
never call
Huh?
it.
Sorry.
I think you just don't. I think you just never call a move with Guahir unless you
Yeah.
absolutely have
No,
to.
well, that's the thing. It's also the fact that I love the potential for Aragon to potentially get like 4 attacks every turn as well, and it's just when he's on foot, he's more
You're
susceptible
not
to a cavalry charge, and if he fluffs that roll, you're like, yep, I'm feeling it. So that's just that. It could go either way, but it's
I
interesting.
think both are very legitimate, and I think, I really think it does depend on like at certain points values, one will be better
Than
than
the other.
as you go up.
That's fair.
No, that makes total sense. We move on to Muster of Isengard. I think we'll start speeding through these a bit more because I think we're almost at that 2-hour mark, which is crazy. But Muster of Isengard, Saruman with his oogity boogity bloody spells and stop you from moving or half move and
No,
whatnot.
that's the other one.
Is that the other
He
one?
doesn't have that fear.
Yeah,
No, he doesn't have this one,
this
sorry.
is the Hatred Man, free
Hatred
strike,
Man.
free heroic march to start the game,
And
and your
striking
captains can
captains.
strike. Yep.
My bad. Yes, that
He
is
gets good
correct.
hits. That's its army list of rules. Is it can take berserkers and Urkai warriors.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So spamming out on berserkers, a good number of pikes, good number of crossbows, and then Grima Wormtongue and 2 banners in this list. 42 models. This will do damage. This is going to walk into a line with the suppressing fire of crossbows, and then it's just going to start slapping. And look, Uruk-hai crossbows are just the same as Uruk-hai warriors, so you can throw them into combat for that fight 4, strength 4 as well, which is very good. A nice solid list. We have another Muster of Isengard.
They're all pretty similar. It's just, I think it's basically berserker count and possibly banner number. And yes, one of them lists has 1 banner. The others have 2.
This one
has 2. This one also has 2.
And then
Maybe they all have 2.
Yeah, slight differences here of what was that 4 models, but yeah, same sort of thing. This one has 2 banners as well. Again, just differences in berserker count and whatnot.
Yep.
And then a 4th one.
Yep.
1 banner.
One banner. There we go.
1 banner, but dang, 14 berserkers. Okay,
Yeah,
say
that's
less.
crowd. Man's ready to run in.
Personally, I think I think all of these are fairly legitimate lists.
Yep.
I actually would have ditched the horse on Saruman for all of them. It's 2 models, and I just don't really think you get much from it anymore. You don't need like, Sorcerous Blast lining up. Like, it lets you maybe jump forward and cast 1 turn earlier, but that's only if your opponent doesn't have shooting, such that you need to hide him.
And hiding him in lines as well is actually really good. Now becomes even better. Yeah, I can see the argument for it. 100%.
It's just like 2 extra models. I'm like, I just don't think you need it anymore.
Yep. Makes total sense. This could be pushed up to 46 models. Minas Tirith. 42. Boromir, Denethor, Faramir, Irolas with 9 sick guard with the longbows. We've got
8 knights total.
8 knights total, which is huge. A smattering of tin cans, and then we've got 6 fountain court guard. So a good number of bodyguard, 9 models with the strength 3 shooting, which is good. Get them into combat around Irolas, and you've got +1 to wound. That's just baked into his profile, isn't it? That's not a army rule. So yes, so he does get that in here. Solid. Very, very, very solid. Faramir is decent in this edition, especially without Hurin running around. So yeah,
if you could take Hurin, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't. Faramir actually has a case of like, no, he's just better.
Take me, which is always how it should have been.
Comparing this list to Reclamation of Osgiliath, which we'll come to, spoiler alert, being able to play recklessly with both Faramir and Boromir, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, 100%. You'd love to see it.
Sure.
Here we have another another list, exact same heroes showing up in this list, and a very similar spattering of models. Although
Not as
Irelas,
many knights.
not as many knights, and a boatload. I say a boatload more. A few more Citadel guards. So there's 10 in Irelas's warband, and then there is another 6
Yeah.
in Boromir's warband.
I
So
just
that's
like the fact that he definitely took 6 Citadel guards with spear. I think I like them with spear. With spears, actually, it's almost like the Thranduil proc
I
of
agree.
+1 to wound. So
Except-
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like, unlike the Palace Guard thing, you actually benefit from having it on both front and back ranks.
Yes, you
Yeah.
do. Yeah, 100%.
That's it.
Question.
But yeah, so well, 10 longbows is quite nice though. If
Yep.
they spike their rolls, you're giggling. Oh Jesus Christ,
What
Minas
the
Morgul. Hello.
So it begins. There's some interesting Minas Morgul lists in here.
Yeah. Take it away, Sam.
So this is the spammiest Minas Morgul. 65 models. I believe that's the highest model count list here.
Yes.
It's the Witch King, no mount, which I think is very interesting. 2 banners, a troll, 4 orc captains, 2 specters, and then a lot of orcs. Probably about 55 orcs. Though no Morannons, no real tricks.
Really banking on that Blades of the Dead.
It is just like 1 troll, a bunch of captains, like the Witch King doing his spells, and then just a massive horde of dudes.
I
Was
played
that
against this
three
last night.
specters?
Played against this last night, and it was insane how many dudes he had. However,
Wait,
when
this
he
specific
breaks,
list?
yeah, this specific list I played last night. When they broke, they ran.
I mean, that's the Mordor problem.
That's the Mordor
Yeah.
problem, right? But
Do
it
have-
was
Yeah, the Witch King
65
helps,
models.
but-
Yeah, the Witch King helps, but man,
Yeah.
it's so many models. I was like, holy crap! You just cover the board, like even if, and it's like, if 3 captains march turn 1, you're like, cool. Especially in recon or anything that requires the movement, you're like, holy shit! Everything just way closer.
I'm in your face. Yeah.
Yep.
Next Minas Morgul, a major drop down in numbers.
Because it's a Witch King on Fell Beast.
On
basically.
Fell Beast,
with-
Crown of Morgul, Morgul Blade, which, oh my god. I played a game against Minas Morgul last Friday, and this sudden realization that Morgul Blade, 10 attacks. Oh,
When it knocks you prone, it knocks
Oh,
you
no.
prone.
Yeah.
So
It
also,
was-
how often are you surviving 10 strength 6 attacks?
well, there is that.
Yeah,
There
I
is
think
that.
this is my thing with the Morgul Blade. Is like,
Yeah.
this edition, obviously, it's much better because there's more monsters.
Yes.
But like, it is the thing of like, you've got to be, for it to be value, you've got to kind of be in that like Goldilocks zone of, I would not have killed you without the Morgul Blade, and now because of the Morgul Blade, I'm killing you.
No, that's
Obviously,
fair.
there's also psychological value, but like, that kind of goes both ways. If you go for a reckless assassination one with the Witch King because you've got the Morgul Blade and that feels like what you should do, you're suffering from your own psychological value.
Yeah, that's fair. We've got a Troll Drummer in this list, which is great, again, for just shooting up the board. Ringwraith B, just running around. We've got a bunch of Morannon Orcs now in this list. What's an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
19, I believe.
19 Morannon Orcs, which is not bad for your front line. I'll take that D6 with the shield ones in there, and that strength 4 as well. You can't look
It
past
is
that.
very smart.
For me, I probably would have taken another Mordor troll over. Sorry, I wouldn't have taken the second ring wraith. It's the 110-1 one, right? Is this not the 110-1?
It's the 110-1.
This one hurts me.
Yeah, the fact that you pay for an attack and not for a might, you're like, oh, that's
a
not
might?
good.
I need a fate, brother. Like, let me survive.
I mean, I actually don't think the fate is too big of a deal because you've got the Witch King. So like, any like I've got Legolas or whatever, is probably going at the Witch King. And like if it's going at the Ringwraith that is 1/3 of his points, it's more
he'll
than
take
1/3
it.
of the resilience. Yeah.
That's fair.
But
Alright.
I think like the Crown of Morgul and the Armored Fellbeast versus the Ordinary Fellbeast, to me that feels like 45 points that you didn't need to spend.
Yeah.
That's
I would have
fair.
taken another Mordor. I would have taken a Morannon Orc captain and another Mordor troll, and it dropped the Ringwraith. Mordor, Morannon Orc captain,
I was
dropped the
thinking,
Felbeast.
that's some good value, 45 points.
Dude, 100%. Dude, hold on. Hey, wait a minute. I gotta explain myself.
I
So,
do
yeah.
really like the Wingwraith B. Like, obviously, the Wingwraith B is a bad profile, but the second caster is.
It's not a bad thing. It's like Lothlorien. It's like Lothlorien. It's like the two casters makes your
much
magic.
better.
Yeah.
I wrote an article on this that is not outdated.
Oh,
you should
damn.
go read
Get onto it. Link
I remember
down
it.
below.
Yep.
Talking about Ringwraith B, here's two of them.
Yeah, I don't like two of them.
What the hell is this?
Brother,
This
Um,
just stinks.
Yeah.
look, very
Mortal Blade
similar.
and Horse. Like,
Yeah.
20 more points gets you a Fellbeast instead.
That's
That's
what I'm saying.
Oh, actually, and you've got two Morgul Blades on the Ringwraith B and other Ringwraith B.
Yes.
That's just a Fellbeast. Straight
Yep.
up. Top no
Done.
models.
Next.
Well, look, and yeah, another troll jummer. More Morannon Orcs. Yeah, couple of Spectres, similar. Now, Pits of Dog
one
with
very small more thing on Minas Morgul. Your Morannon should only ever be on the front. Their value is their defense 6, and sometimes their fight 4.
Survivability.
Neither of those are relevant on the back line because the
Yep.
fight 4 only triggers in combat.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
All right. Pits of Dog Azog the Defiler on White Warg, Keeper of the Dungeon, Hunter Orc Captain on Fell Warg,
With
Orc
everything.
Bow, two-handed weapon, and then just taking everything that he can. Mirkwood Giant Spider, Mirkwood Hunting Spider. You've got 2 each of them. Thrain the Broken. Damn, I like it. I'm a big fan of that. Boatload of Gundabad Orcs with a variety of weapons. You got 1 banner in there. 8 Hunter Orc Warg Riders with Orc Bow. And then 2 cheeky Fell Wargs. So some nice movement. Heavy hitting heroes. The Keeper of the Dungeon can definitely put out some damage, but similar to Azog, where they both can put out damage, they can both die just as easily. So
I would really like this list to be good because I love Pits of Dol Guldur. It was one of my favorite lists ever last edition. I don't think it is. I think Hunter Orcs on Wargs are actually still pretty bad. Like 3 attacks on the charge, that's very cute. Fight 3 defense 4, that's not cute.
but weight of die.
They're cavalry with like all of the basically the stats that they're good on, strength value and having lots of attacks, those are really good on infantry models, and the stats that they're bad on, which is courage, fight value, defense, are really good on cavalry models.
Yeah.
So it's like it is, and 15 points. Like that is, I think, 1 point less than Mirkwood Knights.
No, Mirkwood Knights are 16.
Yeah. So Hunter Orcs are 16. If you
Oh
give-
yeah, no, as in they're the same.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they're the same with the bow. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking without the bow, but yeah.
Yeah.
Which
I'm taking
Awesome.
a Knight of Arnor or a Minister of Tinkin
that's so nice.
over, or a Minister of Knight over
every time.
them. To be quite frank, but look, it's
it's a
their
super cool
own.
list.
It's
That's
fun. So
Ratty Daddy's Alliance. It's just the Eagles list, but with Radagast on an eagle and no
why is no
Screech.
Gua here?
Oh, and no Guahia.
Yeah, I think this list is technically illegal and has had to
The
and it's also
fledgling-
50 points under, so it's had to swap 2 fledglings to Great Eagles from memory. Yeah, to be honest, I think this is just worse than pure Eagles.
100%.
Yep, that's it. Radagast. Oh,
not
here we go,
necessarily.
Tyler Bjorn.
The only Bayorn I'm guessing of this whole fucking thing.
No, I
It
think
is-
there's another identical list.
Oh, yeah,
So
cool.
Great Eagle, Radagast on Eagle, Great Eagle, Bjorn, Great Eagle, Guahia, Great Eagle, 6 models. This is going to be big yuckies, and Bjorn's going to have an absolute blast.
Oh,
And
yeah.
an
The
identical list. So second Bjorn, but he does not have a great eagle with him. That one goes into Guahir's warband.
Yeah.
Right out,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
my baby.
Yes,
Tyler, you're running right out, aren't you?
am I? I don't know.
Is
Yes, I am.
this your one, Tyler?
This is mine.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Okay, so we have Theoden full kit, obviously, because it's what you're required to take. We have 3 Riders of Rohan, 3 Rohan Royal Guard with throwing spears, a normal Rider of Rohan banner. We have Aragorn with 3 riders, Legolas with 3 riders, Gamling with the Royal Standard, another 3 riders, and another 3 Rohan Royal Guard with throwing spear. Now, I didn't go for a lot of Royal Guard because my army already has Fearless. I like the fact that they are 5/5 on the charge. That's why I sprinkled in 6 of them. I've taken a normal Rider of Rohan banner because if Gamling dies, he can't pass that sucker on. So I'd rather have some contingency to try and keep my banner VPs as best as I can. Yeah, and I will say this list hits like a freaking truck. Holy mackerel. I played it for the first time last night, and it was, oh man. Aragorn felt like a Lindil when I was two-handed, and I was like, Elendil's back, baby.
Back from the dead. Now, what does Brago do again? What's that named horse's ability?
It's the sure-footed steed. So the idea with it is anytime that Aragorn could be knocked prone, you roll a dice. On a 6, it is basically he stays mounted.
Okay.
It is you can use might as well to it, which is fantastic. On top of that, he also has Horse Lord, so he can do. I don't know the order of operations because the stacks wise, but do you do the Horse Lord first and then Brago? Like I just don't know.
Well, I think that they wouldn't capture the same thing. So
if it gets shot though, if it gets shot out though, doesn't it?
Well, no, because I think Horse Lord captures wounds being dealt to Brago. Whereas Surefoot Steed captures
being
him falling off. But so if he gets hurled into, if someone hurls into him, potentially on the roll of a 6,
I'll pull up the rules.
The question I had, because this is very curious, was because in theory you can get knocked prone from like falling off your horse, right? If the guy shoots at your horse and you roll a 1, technically you're gonna give it knocked prone.
But isn't it Brago dead at that point? Like
no,
I think earlier in the operation, like that has to have happened after Brago has died.
Yeah, that's fair. Easy.
Hurl is interesting with Hurl. I'm just quickly pulling up that one because so Hurl, I think they're knocked prone and then they take the strength 6 hit. So you do the Brago save. And then you do the strength hit on Brago.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Cool.
Awesome. We've got our second ride-out list, which, Tyler, it's got one more model than you, so they must be doing something better.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
One banner.
One banner. That's the difference.
And
a bunch of Royal Guard.
Yep, a lot more Royal Guard. Just the one banner on Ganon.
Not as many bows either, I don't think.
Indeed, it's 9 versus 13. Though in fairness, the fact that one of those is Legolas does kind of
mitigate
out a bit.
Is it 9 versus 13? I thought it was 14. Oh, okay, that's fair.
So you're more likely to know your list than me.
That's fair. All good. But
counting the number of bows in 82 lists.
That's fair. Yep.
Single drop Legolas. I'm, just in general, I'm a big fan of single drops, so I'm absolutely there for that.
And he's
most popular unique heroes is our next line of stats.
Yeah. Is he still unique when there's 15 of him?
No. He loses his unique keyword.
Oh my God.
So there's 15 Legolases showing up. We've got 12 Aragons, 8 Guahirs, 5 Witch Kings, 5 Saruman, 5 Glorfindels, and 5
Witch King. Like, this dude, there would have been 15 of him last edition.
Yeah.
5.
And how
me-
many Suladans?
For me as
14.
well is the fact that Smaug nearly broke into.
He really
Oh,
did.
wild, right?
He nearly broke into this craft. Don't
Yeah.
want to
Mental.
Cool.
We'll move next up. We're into some more Rohan. We've got Riders of Aomer, which has gotten a nice little buff from the previous edition. Very happy with how it looks compared to the previous one. So 23 models, Aomer on Firefoot with armor, shield, throwing spear. Boatload of riders with various options, one of them with a banner. Gandalf the White with 5 riders with various war gear options, one of them with a banner, so that's 2. Captain of Rohan on horse, shield, exchanging armor for heavy armor, with 5 riders of Rohan with various options, mainly throwing spears, and basically identical warband -1 rider for that final warband. 23 models.
Interesting.
I definitely don't like it. The Captains of Rohan not getting the Arise rule fucking is the
Hurts.
reason why I didn't take the Riders of Aomer.
4.
5-4. What?
Mm.
Why am I looking at Uruk-hai and going, why am I looking at Berserkers and going, I don't even have a chance to draw. It's just I'm losing this.
Yeah.
You were simultaneously like 10 points more expensive than last edition,
Yeah.
have lost Piercing Strike, and have lost Fight 5 on the charge.
Yep.
That's a few things.
It's the
That's
funniest thing when they're being the captain is like with the Rohan Royal Guard and they're looking to the right and going, "Oh shit, you're better than me at fighting? That's crazy." But I have the might.
I will say, to devil's advocate a little bit, the heroic combats on the like shade or turn from Gandalf, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
He's effectively fight 10 then, or like even better against fight 3 troops.
Yep.
And like the fact that he gets the 2 captains get kind of double use of that turn if they combat, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Is it worth, and what could you get for Riders of Aomer at this point's value without those 2 captains? Like
28 models maybe, but it's like
Yeah.
not worth it. Like you would take still
get
one
32
captain and go up
models,
to
yeah.
100%.
See, I do like Riders of Aomer as a list. I'm not sure I like it at 850 though. That's the big thing. I think at 600 it's looking really, really nice. I think you get a similar amount of models at 600. You're missing out on the thing is the captains.
Be down to
700. 700
700
700
and
is
a
where
little
you
less.
get where you get the sweet spot for me is 700 because you drop these
700.
2 captains and you basically put these guys in these warbands up and that's it.
That's it. Yeah. The one thing I will say is though it does feel a bit too reliant on that one turn look to the sun or whatever the special rule is. If that doesn't go off, you're you need that to go off. Moving on to the next, we're back into a classic Theoden's Riders or Riders of Theoden.
Like not at all a classic Riders of Theoden.
No, not at all a classic.
I love that.
Not going for the spam like hero list that we classically see with Riders of Theoden, going for the nearly 40 models, which is bonkers. So Theoden with basically all of his gear, 7 Royal Guard on horse, 11 riders, Gambling with the banner on horse, 4 more Royal Guard with throwing spears, 2 Riders of Rohan with throwing spears, a captain on horse with heavy armor, 3 Riders with throwing spears, 7 Riders of Rohan, and then 1 more with a banner. Oh, this is a lot of models. And we're
24
playing on
bows.
24 bows.
Yeah, this is going to kite for days, but I think its biggest issue is that we're playing on 4x4s, and you've got nearly 40 millimeter bases running around on a 4x4. Nearly no amount of kiting is going to work because you're just filling up so much space that your opponent's going to just be able to hit and pick you off as the game goes on.
Yeah. That's what, like nearly like it, that's more than like 1.5 meters wide.
Yeah. Oh man,
Crazy.
I mean, I like recreating Pelennor Fields, but man, We didn't need to do it.
Brother, just take the heroes. Just take the
Just take the heroes, man.
I will say this is simultaneously the list that I like that surprised me most, and the one that I think is coolest.
That's fair.
Just because it is just so out there.
Yeah, I love it. All right, we've got Return of the King, and I
We have
believe we've
multiple,
got
right?
multiple of these, so we'll be able to just
Got
speed through these.
Three, yeah, basically, no, four. So I think there's two identical ones. This is 31 model ones. Yeah, two that are just this. One banner, 3 Riders of the Dead, the 2 heroes you have to take, and Legolas.
Yep.
And then the other 2, I think, are just different variants that add in Gimli and drop dudes.
Oh, okay, cool.
That makes
And
sense.
they go down to like 24 and 23 models, I believe. So
Damn.
24 and 26.
This
It does sting.
this is it's a nice solid list, and same in the previous game where it was you put your dudes down. You're what? Are you fight 4 now?
You fight 3.
No, you still fight
but
3?
unless you're
Within
within Aragon, exactly.
That's
Unless you're
right,
within
yes,
It's
3
like the
inches,
Battle's Guard thing.
and you
Yeah.
and you lose
You only
the 6-inch
want
banner.
3 of the warriors.
But
Yeah.
you lose the 6-inch
8-inch
banner.
move and
That's what I was
jumping things, like ignoring
8-inch move,
terrain.
ignoring terrain.
It's cute.
It's-
Look, it's cute, but when my model count can't compete with, like, if these guys get swarmed, and I did this a couple weeks ago, if these guys get swarmed by 4 to 5 dice, and they are not they're the lower fight value, they are dying. Like, they're
Yeah.
getting killed.
It still dies.
The event state
Oh,
still
absolutely.
dies when you have weight of dice. That's just
Yep.
the way it
I
goes.
think it's had a lot of really interesting side grades from last edition.
Yeah.
In that literally every profile in this list is noticeably better than it was last edition.
100%.
And the army rules, I think, are just worse. Like,
Yeah.
you lose the 6-inch banner and you lose Harbinger.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's like -1 to wound on like half of the game, and also most things in the game are now like 20% more likely to charge you.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like
My
And it's
dwarves are no
really
longer men
good.
courage. They actually just charge in. It's like
75% of the time now. You're like, oh, okay, that's bad.
That's something. Yep. But yeah, look, we got 4 of them.
Yeah.
But now we move on to Reclamation of Osgiliath. So Boromir, Faramir, Madril, Captain. You've got 6 Knights of Minas Tirith. You have 6, 7, 8, 9 Rangers of Gondor. One of them with a spear, because why not? And then a variation of Warriors of Minas Tirith for spear and shields, and Osgiliath veterans with shield or spear. Nice solid list at 44 models. Big Boromir, he's got his banner in this, which is great.
Fight 4.5.
Yep.
And Madril's great, even better than he was last edition with the Maelstrom aspect, just because of the fact that you can't might down on 2s. So
I
yeah,
hadn't realized that change. That's
so
fine.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can't even might down on 2s anymore for Maelstrom. So him actually being able to neg 1 and make you not arrive if you don't want to is huge. Or just getting you to only have to use 1 might to actually get a 4 to be the north or south board edge is huge. So
Now, does Madril, does he affect all the warbands or just his?
all
All warbands, I think, assuming it's the same as last edition, provided
he's on the
all
board.
warbands once he's on the table.
Yeah.
If it's his warband, and so you do him first, make sure he comes on, and then he affects it.
Yeah. Which is why I like him there with just that small warband of 6 Rangers of Gondor. So you're happy to put him on first.
Totally.
It's quite nice. Another Reclamation of Osgiliath, dropping 3 models down to 41. We have Boromir, Faramir, Captain Minas Tirith, and Madril again.
More nice.
Yep,
So
7 knights. 7 knights.
Yep.
That's what it is.
That's it. That's really the only change, if
Like
I'm not
4.5
mistaken,
knights.
really. Yeah,
Cute.
it's quite nice. It's very good. Shadow of Angmar. Oh, baby. Someone decided to take Gulliver. Now, this is a question that I want to ask Stucky, but haven't yet, is how is he doing Gulliver? Is Gulliver getting the 12-inch fly, or is he stuck on the 6-inch?
Stuck on the 6 is my
Cool.
understanding.
That makes sense. Here up in Queensland anyway, we decided with all the rules that were written in this new edition, the only contentious ones that we decided to actually change is the spear supporting rule. That's the only one that we're going, nope, you can only spear support one model and have a pike if you've got that. That's it. None of this crazy stuff. Other things like the +2 on, the Witch King on Fell Beast, we've allowed that. And Gulliver, he's stuck at his 6-inch.
which sucks.
Wow.
I,
We definitely have ruled that he should have his 12-inch fly, I think.
I
Wow,
think
that's
it's
crazy.
like a copy paste error. Like they
Yeah.
forgot that the person doing the Angmar PDF forgot that they hadn't forgot that fly has been flipped.
Has been changed, yeah. I do believe it will be changed in an upcoming
The
FAQ, but
Yep.
until then, it's not inherently game breaking where we believe that the spear support one could potentially start causing some issues in the game, which is why we stuck with that. But anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about this Gulliver list.
I'm happy to run through it.
Go through it.
It's pretty simple as far as these things go. So it's got Gulliver, it's got the Shadow of Rudar and the Barrow White for some casting. It's got the Wild Walk Chieftain for a bit more hitting power, and an Angmar War Captain for March and or 2 moves. It's got 3 Spectres, which I think is probably an appropriate amount this edition.
Yep.
It's got 2 Werewolves, 3 Warg Riders, 3 Wild Wargs. I don't like them clumped in one warband, but like, whatever. And then it's got about 36 orcs. So I think this list is pretty good with a fast Gulliver and okay with a slow Gulliver. Double caster's nice. I'd probably have preferred the 3rd caster instead of the Wild War Chieftain. Barrow Whites are just so good. But yeah, it classic.
Being able to have to hide Gulliver with only the 6-inch move, I know he has Stalk Unseen, that's fantastic. But at some point in this board, there's probably going to be a 10-inch gap, and you're going to have to cross it. And I'm like, I ain't getting warm fuzzies crossing that.
But Spectres help, in fairness. Like the reason I always thought last edition that like people got over concerned about shooting with Gulliver. Because like if you play the Spectres well and terrain and all of those things, you can, especially against good players, as in like good alignment, you could often get him into combat with like 1 turn of shooting.
Yep, and that's fine. With 12-inch movement, that's fantastic.
That's
you
fine.
can do it. 6 inches, I'm like,
it's hard.
Yeah, that brother,
No.
that 10-inch gap.
Dude,
as soon as you
I
see
am
that, your
lar- I'm
stomach
like,
is going to drop.
I'm like, large target, fantastic.
Hello. My 16 bows go. Bleh.
Indeed.
3 trolls.
We have 3 trolls list or 2?
I think 2. I think they're identical. I think they've taken the same.
Same ones.
the
No,
same
one of
ones.
them took kitchen utensils, didn't they? No, they
Oh,
took
cute.
a weird one.
Ah, that is weird.
We've got
Yeah.
full bally's, which is a 3/3/3 stat. Stone troll endurance. What's that one? Is
6
that
plus
4
save.
wounds? Oh, 6 plus save.
Yeah.
Nothing like a warm fire. So that's
Banner
the banner
VPs.
VPs. Bowl them over. Is that the stone throwing one? Dominant presence. Awesome. Is that also the one where it's like, oh, I'm on an objective, it doesn't matter how many models you have?
Dominant Infinity.
Dominant Infinity, absolutely.
Disgusting. Troll Cunning, Cover of Darkness with that bowl 'em over is yucky. Savvy
Cool.
Fighters and Rumbling Momentum. What's Rumbling Momentum?
That's +1 attack on the charge.
Yeah, they get up to 4 attacks on the charge.
Yeah.
Baby,
Which one's
that's
Savvy
all.
Fighters again? Is that?
A Savvy
Is that the
Fighters
strike?
is the 4+ strike if you're
Yeah.
if you're against, which is cool.
And
Yeah, that's
Troll
pretty
Cunning is can't be trapped, which
Can't
I
be trapped. Yeah,
that'd really be like that'd be in the top 3.
yeah, no
absolutely.
question.
Very,
Cool.
very cool.
Yeah.
Same
Fun
thing.
list.
This one, kitchen utensils instead of
Reroll ones when making strikes is one of the worst one of them all.
Yeah, so they've
Please.
dropped the stone. They've dropped the stone troll endurance and gone for kitchen utensils.
I mean, yeah, sure, I guess. It's a downgrade, but that's probably one of the smaller downgrades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? This is my list,
Nice.
and it's also the last list of the video.
Hey,
We did it.
Yay.
Woo! All right,
We
so
got
this is my Usurpers of Edoras list. 848 points, 56 models. We've got Frecker, Lord of the West March. You got a Hill Tribesman with a two-handed weapon. 4 with spear, 3 with flaming brands, 6 with bow, 1 crabane. Wolf on his horse with 1 two-handing dude, 2 dudes with spears, 3 more with flaming brand, 5 with bow, and another crabane. We got the Chad himself, the double Mr. Chieftain, General Targ on horse. He's got 2 dudes with 2-hand weapons, 1 with spear, 3 with flaming brands, and 5 with bow. My favorite thing in this new edition, Lord Thorn and his Rohan Trader Warband. I can't get enough. It gives me all the warm fuzzies, as Tyler would say. So Lord Thorn, you got 10 Rohan Traders with throwing spear and shield, 2 of them with banners, and then we've got half of Lord Targ with a crabane. So that's
1.5 Targs.
yeah,
Jesus.
1.5 Targs.
Brother, we got to get these numbers up. These are rookie numbers. What the heck? Like, nah. What is this?
Yeah, well, I'm interested. Why are you 1 model off maxing your bow limit?
Yeah.
Okay,
He
so
doesn't have enough.
I don't have enough.
Yeah.
So I built my army to 800 points. I've got 800 points, and I built it in such a way, and then I've got like 18 bows in that list. But then I went and realized that I only actually painted 16 bows. So that's issue number 1. Issue number 2 is I didn't really like 2-hand weapons early on, but now I want more 2-hand weapons. I don't have time to paint more 2-hand weapons. I was like, 9 flaming brands is a good number, but now I want more flaming brands. So this list is built. This list and the 800 point list that I got was built pre-playing any games with them. And now that I've started playing games with them, I've gone, okay, I want to start adding more of this, removing, and then, I want to start changing stuff around. So it's definitely not optimal. I tried to build a Dale list. I didn't have enough models. I tried to build a Arathorn's Last Stand list. I didn't have enough models. I was going to take Eagles, but I found them batshit boring. And then I was like, oh, I've got my 800 point Usurpers of Edoras, and I only need to paint 2 more models. Cool, I'll do this. And so that's where this has stemmed from.
Yep, you're a man of culture. We understand that, Sean.
Yeah, that's it.
I expect nothing less.
Whoa, that feels like it was there was some vitriol behind that.
No, that was fine. I actually was. When you said Usurpers of Edoras, I was like, "You're a Chad." Like, I don't like you're not trying to go into the tournament with any gimmicks. I love it. I was like, "Cool."
No, this Usurpers of Edoras is a list that I want to main throughout at least this first year. I love the aesthetic, and as I said, just Lord Thorn and his 12 Rohan traders, I just love it. They feel like they give me the same excitement as Gildor and his Noldorian exiles gave me. Just that, like, this is my one little warband that I'm going to put into every single list that I possibly
Sean
can.
with his little freak crew that is like, yes, good.
Is this guy going to get a leopard fucking cape too?
Nah, brother. These guys are stark red, real bright red. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on Usurpers of Edoras, just quickly.
I think realistically they're going to be better at lower points, because I think like 56 models is very scary, but lists with 40 models will probably be able to you won't be able to flank them. Their 40 models are going to be better than your 56 models.
Yes, absolutely.
But I think you do then kind of rely on either your shooting plus throwing spears, which is like legitimately a lot. 16 bows, 10 throwing spears, that's a threat. You're kind of relying on either them to do the work, or Wolf to do the work, or like numbers and Crabane to win objectives. Yeah. And I think all of those are things that can work, and so I think you will definitely win games with it.
Look, I'm going into this tournament with this list with the hopes of, if I can win 3 games, I will be very happy.
I think that's very good.
My goal with my goal with any tournament that I go to, if I'm not looking to compete and like win, which I'm not with CanCon, I just, I want to catch up with, Tyler, Alex, and everyone else. That's what I'm using this weekend for. But I still always go to a tournament going, I want to win half my games, rounding up.
Yep.
So if I can win 3 games this weekend, I will be ecstatic.
Dude,
That seems very doable.
that's literally the same thing I went with, because everyone was expecting me to take Battle of 5 Armies again with the bear like I did for the Green Dragon, and I was like, look, no, I'm gonna take something completely different, throw it off. And to be honest, Bright Out, look, it packs a punch, but having to charge every turn will cuck me in a lot of scenarios.
Oh,
So
your
it is,
banner being forced to charge.
yeah, it is. It's for if it must, it just has. It is what it is.
Yeah,
Like it's just that's just how it goes. And so that's why I was like, man, I just want to take a Chad list, potentially try and win 3 games and see how I go.
Yeah, awesome.
I-
Sorry.
No, sorry. I did want to check. Did we skip Garrison of Dale, or have they ceased to attend?
There it is. There it is.
There's no
I knew I
escaping
was
that.
missing my siege weapons.
There's the last 2 siege weapons. So not Usurpers is not
Sorry,
the last
3
one.
siege weapons.
That's it. Garrison of Dale,
What
my
the fuck
babies.
is-
Oh god, I really wanted to run Dale. My list was nigh on identical to this list. Girion, Winlance, Warriors of 2 Warriors of Dale with banner, both in Girion's warband. I would have spread them, but whatever.
Same.
5 Warriors of Spear and Shield, 11 with Esgroth Bow. Again, I'd probably have spread them throughout the rest of the army. Captain of Dale, 5 Warriors with Spear and Shield, 4 with Esgroth Bow, 3 with Shield. Captain of Dale, Warriors, Spear and Shield, and an identical warband down below with another captain, and then double Windlance. So you're looking at 3 Windlances and 11, 15 Esgroth Bows. Re-rolling failed hits against monsters, Hatred Dragon that counts in their shooting. It's yucky. Eagles are going to look at this and pray to God that they just don't get sniped out.
Hold ground.
Yeah, this.
There's still the +1 to. They're still gonna be able to move their stupid siege weapons up to the whole ground objective. It's still +1 to wound. You're freaking.
Yeah, at least
look,
you get to play a game.
Look, that's true. My issue, all I gotta say is, for the good of the company, this player needs to play all 4 Smaugs. That's all for the good of the company. It's all I want.
Well, you know what the problem is then, though? That Dale will then win their first 4 games.
And that's fine. That's fine. You know what? You
If-
did it for the good of the company to freaking just beat every Smaug to a fucking oblivion.
If Dale wins this tournament, this will shit on
it's so
Jay
plausible.
saying that Dale is bad. My brothers in Christ. Oh, Dale shit. They were never bad. They were hard to play. They were very difficult to play.
Yeah.
They were they were the king of averages, is what I used to say. Like, fight 4, strength 3, 3+ shooting with strength 3 bows. You're the king of averages. You'll giggle, and especially at 500 points. This edition, they've shot up a bit. Are they the best list? No.
Oh, I
But they're
very
up
much
there.
argue with you in terms of top. They have a lot of
Top 5?
contingency.
100%.
Yeah, and as I said, they turned into a GBHL list. So yeah,
Yeah.
great, fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right,
let's on that specific list though. 3 Windlancers does feel excessive to me. I had 2 things to say. First, 3 Windlancers feels excessive because I think the games that the 3rd Windlance really shines are the games you're going to win anyway. Like,
Yeah.
you play Smaug. Smaug goes from like dead to turbo dead. Like, it doesn't matter.
Good. That's what
I
we
said,
want,
for the
though.
good of the company.
Indeed. Whereas like 8 more models, or like 5 more total models, that feels like it would have helped you in the harder games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember my stat earlier from like there was, if a D6 army needs to cross a 24-inch gap to get to this list, how many will it kill? 18.5 models was my rough
Let's go,
calculation
Dale!
list. 18.5.
Yeah.
Somebody
With
hurt this man.
Brother, that the Windlance now having piercing shot is the greatest thing that's ever happened. Oh,
Is
my
it though?
Is
Yes.
it?
The Windlands was trash last edition. Anyone that took the Windlands was just like on Bard. It had a bit of play, sure, but in Dale, you do not take a Windlands. This new edition, oh brother, you take a Windlands.
My concern with the list, to be honest, like it's not even that Windlands has got buffed. They clearly needed it. It's that the +1 to wound, obviously a very, very powerful rule, and it's being handed out as a reward for playing in the least enjoyable way for your opponent. You get it for sitting back with siege engines in your deployment zone. And it's like great. Like a really powerful buff has been handed out to incentivize unenjoyable play.
Yep.
But see, the thing is,
GBHL list. Thank you.
The thing is, it's not just that, it's in your deployment zone +1 to wound. But then if you move that Windlands out of your deployment zone, hello, I now have +1 to wound within 6 inches outside of that.
Yeah.
Thank God it does not affect the bows, because that would be too much.
Did I say 18.5? I meant 28.5.
Yes, thank you. No.
Awesome. All right, we'll move on to our last stat, which we did a little forward sell on earlier, but number of players. There is one BPIA, aka best player in Australia, and then there's 77 everyone else. So 78 players in total. Well, as of receiving the lists from Stucky the TO, there might have been another entry or two.
There's one other entry. It's Rivendell. I know the player, but yeah, Rivendell is the other list, and that's basically it. So
yeah, awesome.
Nice.
But yeah, it's shaping up to be an absolutely incredible tournament. The second largest number of players at an Australian event, I believe. So huge. Very, very excited. Before we sign off, just a huge thank you to Stucky, who is running CANCON. Everything that is done for MESBG in CANCON over the past number of years is huge. He is a massive pillar to the community. Thank you to him for asking us to show the list and review the list for everyone. It's something that we want to do here at MGG, is do the list reviews for these big tournaments. And so if anyone's running tournaments, let us know. We might do some list reviews. We're very excited to do that. The other person I want to thank is Tyler's Mrs. Chelsea for organizing and making this PowerPoint look all beautiful and pretty. I was off doing some appointments. Alex was off on holidays or something. Tyler was at work or something, and Jay was off dealing with family stuff, new baby. And Chelsea came in clutch and got it all sorted for us. So big thank you to her.
Yep.
But that's all,
folks.
That's all, folks. Enjoy this nearly 3-hour video. But from me, from Sam, from Tyler, from the wider MGG community, to everyone watching and everyone listening, have a lovely night. Love you.